sit by the lonely fire, and the world is what we long to see. Yet true love is my desire. Yet true love is my desire. Seek your worthy praise while life is sweet on the vine. Full our glasses raised, hailed as heroes divine. Slay evils of men, monsters felled by our might, dragons slain in their den, whisk the weak from their plight. The sun it shines on another day. Snow it freezes us to the bone. Our silence is the cold price I pay. My words are for thine ears alone. My words are for thine ears alone. Seek ye worthy praise while life is sweet on the vine. Full our glasses raised, hailed as heroes divine. Slay evils of men, monsters felled by our might, dragons slain in their den, whisk the weak from their plight. No gold nor jewels can I grant to thee, no lord am I by right, but at journey's end I'll sing a melody to win your sweetheart by tonight, to win your sweetheart by tonight. Seek ye worthy praise while life is sweet on the vine. Full our glasses raised, hailed as heroes divine. Slay ye evils of men, monsters felled by our might, dragons slain in their den, whisk the weak from their plight. Seek ye worthy praise while life is sweet on the vine. Full our glasses raised, hailed as heroes divine. Seek ye worthy praise while life is sweet on the vine. Full our glasses raised, hailed as heroes divine.
It began with the suicide of Charles Blackwell, just days after his 55th birthday. Then the Rhineswan family massacre. 3 generations painfully passing from this world, crying the same crimson tears Blackwell had.
Sit alone on the edge of
5 members of the prominent Rhineswan family were found dead.
After that, the media finally gave their murderer a name. The Red Crier Killer.
Memento mori. Remember you will die.
Investigators believe the killer may be the same individual the media has dubbed the Red Crier.
Memento mori. Remember you will die. I know it's strolled
And good morning, best chat. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Hello, hello, hello. We're going to have some delicious, malicious morning nonsense chat. Here we go again, back at it again, chat. Hope the Monday demon wasn't too cruel to you, chat. We got some fun stuff to go over, some fun stuff to dive into. I think we can have a really fun show today. We'll check it out, chat. We'll definitely check it out. Let's see. Got this over here. Fantastic, fantastic. Here we go, chat. Awesome, awesome. Here we go. Company says, good morning, LD Best Chat. Bad news. Netflix is doing a live action. How does Netflix keep getting this stuff? Are they making that much money that they keep getting like all this anime, all these anime properties? Man, that's rough. I know that's a big one. Ace of Swords, Silas Arch. Man, what also that this is interesting because I have been noticing this weird effort to wipe out 2D animation. I remember, so like it all began like the whole Netflix thing. Oh no, the Pixar thing, where they try to stamp out 2D, and I have no idea why. I'm not really sure why they would stamp out 2D. I'm not really sure why that is, because it's not just like we don't like 2D anymore. We want to go 3D. It's like they're trying to like with a fervor. Wipe out 2D. Right, they're remaking all 2D animations into live action. They're buying up anime properties to make them into live action to wipe out 2D animation. Like, what is it with 2D animation that I don't know, the mainstream hates so much because they keep trying to stamp those out. They prefer to champion live action and 3D. It's very interesting. Very interesting. I'm not really sure what would be the reason why, but there we are, I guess. Anyway, Ace of Swords, Silas Archer. Hello to you from Rumble. Good morning, LD and Rumble chat. Hello to you, Ace of Swords. Nick says, hello, Dev. Edge Runner season 2, trailer 2 dropped. What was it? What's it going to be about? And this also means probably that they're going to do more stuff with the Cyberpunk game. That's what I'm assuming. Guys out says, good morning, LD. Brett, and of course, best guests. Hello to you, Karotata. Good morning, good morning. That Christmas says, my sister liked the end of TDAC. I mean, yeah, that makes sense. It's because it's full of emotion. Like, it's just straight up emotion. It's kind of the whole thing of like if you have like a movie that's just straight up random action, right? It's just like John Wick, like the end of John, like the last couple of John Wick movies, like maybe even John Wick 4. I guess most of all. Is this a lot of action, right? It's a lot of action, but you look at them, just problems doesn't make any sense. People feel that same way about 3, right? It's like that, but I still like it because I want to see the action. So yeah, girls are gonna like the end of TDAC because it's just emotional slop. It's just it's not good, but it's just full of that stuff they like in general. And the other down says, well, there goes Persona, yeah. So it says, got my first Elric Melbourne book. Excited to do some reading and like the original ones, because I think the original one's a little more fun. I think right than the current comic book ones, where it's just like dark. I know it's supposed to be a dark character, but the original seemed like he's a little bit more of a hero. But the original by Michael Moorcock, I think he's a little bit more of a hero, like a little bit more. Enemy God says, "Morning, everyone. Real question: if you were temporarily magically turned to a girl." When you let the virgin bros smash it, is it gay? I mean, I don't know, but it kind of feels like you could never really look at your bro in the eye again. You know what I mean? It's the up down says the only live action anime Netflix does this that is decent is One Piece, and that's because Oda was there to like crack the whip. I know this because the people making the Netflix version of it cried about it. They cried about it like whiny bitches. Like they did. Like, oh, no, Mr. Oda, I don't feel like it. Like it's very clear that they're yelling at their dad. It's very clear they're yelling at their dad, but you know their dad has taken the form of Oda. Like it's probably like it's very clear like they're trying to recite a line that he says to them. Like I don't feel like this is ready yet. No, Mr. Oda, I don't feel like it's ready yet. And they only use like honorifics like that, like Mr. or try to sound polite when they're going to insult you. Like every single tweet that begins with "Dear Mr. President" in reference to Trump, you know it's going to be like some sort of disrespectful nonsense. And let's see, it's a Card Token Nerd says, hi all, busy morning, hope you're all well. Doing pretty good. The Nerd says, good evening, Lister Devil and BC chat. Is Taddy already imploding? Anyway, originality is king. It certainly is. Shadowbane Shonix says, good morning, all. How does a movie sound worse with each review? Gun Supergirl, apparently. Yeah, just the whole Supergirl thing is a great uniter because everyone hates this movie. Even Angry Joe, who got angry at everybody who got angry at this movie. He's like, no, you didn't get angry at the right way, the correct way. Let's see. Garnet Ketchell's good morning, best in the Rumble chat. Here we are on Tabletop Tuesday, and all the tomboys say the green tube is better. That's what they say. Alta Bottom says, morning, folks. Jax being a bad character is what makes him interesting in TDAC. Turns out when there is legit conflict, it makes a story interesting. Certainly does. Because he's only bringing in the conflict. Everyone else is a touchy-feely kumbaya type. Dr. Crow, good morning, LD and Bez Chat. With my promotion, my hours will be different. I'm going to test streaming earlier this morning, see how it goes. I've been in a rut with streaming, so I hope this shakes it up. We'll see how it goes, Dr. Crow. Well, good luck to you. Hope things pan out well. Philanisha says, hey, LD and Bez Chat. It's hot out here. Stay hydrated, everyone. Absolutely. It usually gets pretty up there. Even in the evening, it gets pretty warm. Also, by the way, this evening, chat, this evening on the Rumble, we'll be going over a few more episodes of Yu-Gi-Oh! GX. Going to EFAP and stream, discuss Yu-Gi-Oh! GX, 3 more episodes from as earned by last week. It's also a few days ago on Saturday, not only did we go over 3 episodes of Venture Brothers, we went over the pilot episode of Knights of Guinevere. So you want to check that out? It's all in one stream. 3 episodes of Venture Brothers and Knights of Guinevere, all in one stream. So you want to check that out? Definitely, we went all over that. It's a Xander Steele says, good morning, fuck munchers. How is everyone? Doing pretty good. Reverend R says, gentlemen, midday. Hello to you. Lady Fashion says, good morning, LD and Bezchat. Well, yeah, rock version. Yeah, absolutely. Going hardcore like Robert Eager's Werewolf. The trailer just dropped and it makes me want Eagers to do a movie of LD's Lady Midnight. If only. It'd be pretty awesome. I'd definitely allow that to happen. That'd be pretty cool. I'd do that. And see, Book Golem, good morning. Happy Tomboy Taco Table Top Tuesday. Hello to Book Golem. Good morning. Amber Chiland. They think the only reason why everyone is conflicted with the last episode is due to a lot of Tumblr Twitter folk taking the I can fix him pill too hard, along with the episode feeling kind of disjointed. At least to me, it did. It was awful. There was nothing there. Like the last episode was kind of like the beginning of 2 or 3 episodes that didn't really end. It didn't really get to a conclusion. And don't tell me that it's all part of the plan. It's not part of the plan. If it is, it's a dumb plan. It's like you gave me the appetizer to a meal, and then a full meal that I paid for, and then you said, "Well, there is no meal," and then you just sent me home. It's like, but I paid for a full meal. Yeah, but that's part of the plan. You just don't understand. Like, no, I don't care if it's supposed to be okay. It's a sad ending, or it's going to be an inconclusive ending. It's supposed to be a movie. It's supposed to be an arc that leads us to this conclusion. It didn't have that. So that's why it feels disjointed and weird. It's set up. It began with, oh, we got to make the best of what we have now, and then it switched to, okay, now it's time for Jax, I guess. But the whole thing with time to make the best of what we have, there was no conclusion. It's just like them messing around with Conjuring for a few days or months or whatever, and then we just jump over to Jax has now abstracted, and then we kind of see what's going on in there. What can we do? Can we save him or not? And it's like, okay, well now Kane is just back. Okay, so we never get resolutions to any questions it asks in the beginning. We just get a new question to jump onto without any conclusion. Why is Kane alive? It just wipes Kane being alive now, just suddenly being back now, just wipes out all consequences of the previous episode. It just does. It's really bad. It's really bad. But yeah, the reason why everyone is conflicted in the last episode is due to a lot of Tumblr. Also, yeah, the Tumblr arena and Twitter talk didn't really help much, but the movie is just not good on its own, even without that. And see, Lady Fast says, we all need more rock in our lives. Absolutely. I recommend Full Metal Patriot. That sounds awesome. He does this headbangers, pretty cool stuff. It's Corner Ketchel says, "One let Dev and Best Chat here for the tabletops with tacos." Hello to Corner Ketchel. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. It's a Lady Fastline says, "Never 2D is forever and will never die." Yeah, 2D is really good. I don't know why they're trying to like go to war against 2D animation. Like every single time they find a really good anime, which is usually 2D, it has to be they have to make a live action version of it, or a really good classic 2D movie. They have to make a live action version of it. Everything has to be 3D or live action now. I don't know why there's like this concerted effort to wipe out 2D. It's very strange. And say, None says it's the market. Let's 2D costs more. An artist has to actually draw every panel. I know that. I know that part where it's like 3D is a little bit cheaper because all you gotta do is make a model, I guess. But it's weird. What's weird to me is that they're going back to movies they've already made, right? That are already classics, and they're trying to like go, no, forget that. Here's our live action version of it. Like they're trying to wipe out 2D from ever existing. That part is weird to me. But why is it that it's not just that we want to stop doing 2D. It's like we want to wipe it out from everyone's memory. We want to wipe it out. That we pretend it never even existed. That's weird. That's the weird part to me. It's Etran says, "Good morning, LD and Best Chat. Good morning to you. Good morning. Good morning." Etran says, "Litdav, Netflix has a Japan office." Oh, is that why they're getting all these anime properties? They're able to negotiate over there. Anderson says the only way it would work is a completely original American persona. That's what they should do, but that costs too much work. That's too much effort because then they have to come up with like an original story, and that's not really what they want to do. They just kind of want to buy a story everyone already knows and then ruin it. That's kind of what their whole shtick is and has been for the last decade or so. Let's see. But I doubt they'll do that. But imagine doing a cross-country road trip American Persona game. That'd be pretty interesting. But they're not going. Unfortunately, not going to do that. It's too much work. As says, I've been saying for a while now to end cartoons. Hollywood hates them because you can't see them. Even Disney's trying to abandon them, even though Walt started to. Not only did Disney start the studio with it, they were the animation guys. Like Disney. We wouldn't have the animation we have today without Disney. Anime wouldn't be anime without Disney. Walt Disney was the canon event of modern day animation. Like he is the father of modern day animation. I would say more so than Miyazaki because Disney really innovated and developed technology to help make animation so real and visceral and give it depth and heart and soul. I watched some videos on like what he made and everything. So yeah, Walt Disney was the animation guy, the 2D animation guy. So it's very strange that Disney is now kind of going to war. It's like they're doing a Joseph Stalin on 2D animation. Like no. This picture of 4 guys. Actually, it's a picture of 2 guys now. It's either Greggy 90 says, do you want to let you know Best Chat? I saw Kingdom Ashen of the North and it's good. I never heard of that, but it sounds pretty awesome. A girl's clan is slaughtered and she takes revenge on the people responsible and starts a zombie plague. Still sounds pretty cool to me. Abragioni, good morning to you. Abragioni, good morning to you. Let's see. Johnny Ortiz says, "One Litdev celebrating today because Brazil win Miku now. Interesting. Very cool. Amber Shyland says, Shyland, don't worry. Shyland. No one ever gets it right. Oh, well, it's not Shyland. It's Shyland, like the T. That's right there. Megalithon says, I'm here too. Welcome, Megalithon. Hello to you. Blaze says, is superiority interior complex for actual actors? Maybe. Although I've heard some actors, I guess it doesn't really matter what they voice, but I heard some actors really enjoy voicing things because they get paid the same, but they don't have to act. They just voice characters. And see, Eddie Spaghetti says Jax is the worst character in TDAC because he's the only character. He's the only one with character. I'd like to challenge them to do a live action in your speech reviewers. Now that'd be crazy. They could do that. And see, where are we now? Amber Shilan says, at least they did leave hints that Jax was already at risk of extracting from previous episodes. That is true. Still scratching my head over Kane just suddenly there again. Because it's like, okay, wait, maybe he was in the recycling bin or something like that. But like Kinger's a programmer, and Kinger was the guy that made it happen. And Kinger was like, oh, he's gone. So are we supposed to believe that Kinger just forgot there was a recycling bin? Is that it? We're supposed to forget that Kinger knows what he's doing? Could you imagine, like, you have a programmer friend who's like, oh yeah, the recycling bin exists. Oh yeah. It's Zero Steel says Avatar. Yeah, exactly. Oh man. What a travesty. What a travesty. This guy should have his feet caned for making this horrendous live action Avatar. Until the Human Race says, good morning, Beazle Books. Hello to you and best Chads. Hope you're all having a great day so far. Doing pretty good, Divina Duckworth says, good morning. Groovy Nice says, the 2D animation, I think, is because some people believe that 2D animation is childish and live action is more adult, even though animation used to be for adults. And yeah, 2D animation, I'm pretty sure, is a lot of hard work. Like, I noticed that it took me so long just to make this. Because I did every frame by hand with that one. I did every frame by hand. No AI or anything. I did that one by hand, every single frame. And it's only like 12 seconds, and it took forever. And I have to repeat some stuff at the end. But I mean, it was worth it. But I mean, it takes a while. I know it will take a while. It's a lot of work to do 2D animation. And see, I saw the Sheep Detectives, interesting Disney-like animation. Oh yeah, I think someone mentioned that before. The Sheep Detectives. ZZZ for Black Rabbit. Hello there. Hello to you. And Salty Brain says Disney inspired the style for a lot of earliest anime. So yeah, Disney is really father 2D. I would say so. Yeah, absolutely, easily. Like the reason why Disney has those big eyes is because a lot of Disney animation had big eyes. It's just that anime kind of cranked that to 11. It's the Elsa Bomb says, I got a feeling that as time goes on, I'm going to dislike TDAC ending more and more. Probably. Also, Kinger was coding in Linux, which doesn't necessarily have a recycling bin. Why? But the thing is that the whole Digital Circus was made by his company, the company that I work for. So why does the Digital Circus have a recycling bin? Did Kane make it? Instagram says, this is a great collection of notes of the in-house lectures of Disney animator Walt Seinfeld called Drawn to Life. Wait a minute. Is that old? Because I think I remember seeing that. I think I watched that. If it's from a long time ago, then I think I watched it. A veritable Bible of how it to instill life and emotion into animation. Because I like to read stuff like that. I read the entire book, How to Draw Comics the Marvel Way, like years and years ago. It was a pretty cool read. It's anime is thriving in Japan and Korea, etc. Yeah, the 2D animation is a powerhouse. It's a powerhouse. He's got to use it right. It's chat. You're right, but maybe it's a prestige thing then. Let's see. I don't know. I'm not sure. I'm not sure at all. If you're talking about like why they seem to be wiping out 2D animation, I don't know. It's a really interesting question because it's very weird that they're trying to do that. Anyway, chat. Anyway, Anthony does a ball. Good morning. And doing pretty good. Let's check it out, chat. Let's check it out together. All right. So I found this little video. It's like people are really using AI to make some like really funny animations and to fight back against the power. Fight the power. Check this out, chat. I thought it was pretty funny.
Oh my gosh, here comes.
Hold on. Like the Mary Sue thing, and then now someone made this.
Oh my gosh, here comes Chad. He's so hot.
Hey, fatty, lose some weight.
Imagine if they make a movie like this. Now, check this out. It's not over yet. Check it out. Check out. She has a magic wand. Whoa, very Disney-esque.
I wish Chad thinks I'm sexy.
Hey, sexy.
Oh my goodness, it worked.
You still got to lose that weight.
We need this movie. You know how there's Pixar? Oh no, the DreamWorks, right? DreamWorks like pokes fun at Disney by in that Teenage Kraken or whatever they made Ariel the bad guy. We need a company that does stuff like that. It's like, but not maliciously, just not like we're anti woke, but a company that kind of makes animations to poke fun at the previous era, which is at this point the woke era. That'd be fantastic. All right, there we go, chat. Oh, that was a good opener. That was a pretty good opener there. But one thing I wanted to say before we get off the Disney thing is I tweeted this out a couple of days ago, and 4 days ago it turns out, and I think it's true, is that I think that Disney made a lot better movies when they didn't hate Christianity. Now, it's not that they need to embrace Christianity or all become religious. Is that when it didn't have like this effort of hating Christianity, I think they made better movies because they try to respect things. And look, so you had these guys, the priests. This is the good priest from Hunchback of Notre Dame, and Hunchback of Notre Dame really respects religion in there. Frollo is the bad guy. He uses religion as a shield, but the religious icons in the movie are all about casting judgment on Frollo. Like the religion is clearly rejecting Frollo. That's the whole premise of the movie. Is that the icons, the statues are looking down on Frollo in judgment and saying, "Hey, you're going to hell." And so that's what causes Frollo to be like, "Okay, I'll take care of Quasimodo." That's what happens. So this would not happen today because they all hate religion. They hate Catholicism at the very least. So I think that Disney did a lot better when they didn't hate Christianity, when they didn't hate it. I made a short on Hellfire recently too. I did a short how it's probably the darkest Disney villain song because most other villain songs kind of sing about how great their plan is and how awesome they are. Like Ursula's like, "Oh, these poor unfortunate souls, you're all weak and stupid," and basically that's kind of the whole thing of the song. And then Scar, remember Scar is like, "Be prepared. I'm awesome. I'm going to lead you to greatness." It's about how great his plans are and how ambitious he is. Ursula's about how well she could trick people into signing contracts and everything. These typical villain songs. Gaston is about how great he is, right? That's usually how it goes. But Frollo's Hellfire specifically is about a man going insane and embracing evil. So the Hellfire has an arc to it. It begins with him trying to maintain his dignity, and he goes from a guy who is, not as evil. He goes from a guy who's like, cruel and mean, and trying to like wipe out the gypsies or whatever, but he tries to at least give off the persona of being a religious man, of being a righteous man, and even believes it. But at the end of Hellfire, he's like, "No, I'm embracing evil now." Like he's allowed the madness to embrace him, and he's embraced it in return. So Lady Fast says, "Well, yeah, but live action doesn't require imagination or talent." And asking for beds. That is true. That is true. That is true. I just that's why I think the writer for Supergirl got her position. You're like, what the hell? How do you go from having no credits, having no movie credits to being handed Supergirl? Like, what the hell? That can't be organic. That can't be just like, "Oh yeah, we're gonna give you Supergirl for no reason." Like there has to be a reason. But people seem to agree, I guess, and one way or another. So I think it's very interesting how they change because I always say when you make a piece out of hatred, no matter what that hatred is for, it could be hatred of something that's worthy of hate. It could be something that is just cringe to hate. This could be like you're woke and you just hate everything that's good in the world. It's just hate poisons things. It's like the old saying goes, hate and grudges is like a poison that you take hoping the other person will die. And so when you make something out of hate as opposed to out of passion, it poisons your work. It just ruins the integrity of your art. And so when they made things not out of hate but out of love, it's very clear and very interesting and very likable. You can just tell that every single thing they do in something like Hunchback of Notre Dame, for example, was made out of passion and not hatred. So when they make things today, it's like, oh, we're making like a lot of creators today are getting the reins of like big franchises, and they're making things to make the chuds angry, to make the incels angry, and where did that leave them? Where has that brought them? It brought them on to the brink of destruction and bankruptcy. Like they're all losing hundreds of millions of dollars, but at least they own the chuds. At least they own the incels. It's just funny how that works. It's just funny how that works. Anyway, chat. I just wanted to, because they're trying to just stomp out 2D animation, but man, they made some of their best stuff with 2D animation during the era where they didn't hate Christianity. The Insult Human Race says there's a lot more interesting things about Hellfire if you know a thing or two about the Bible and Catholicism. Cool details you don't get from people who write to hate on Christianity. Yeah, so there's a lot of essence, like this underground, like baseline essence there that you wouldn't get from someone who wants to despise and demonize Christianity. I'd say, there we go, Chad. Tronic says you can get away with more in an animated world, especially 2D, because you have that pre-existing unreality to mess with. The world trick is to make audiences believe in that world. It takes effort. Yeah, because 3D, I've seen some people go over like how to do 3D, and you kind of have to have them constantly move, like a little bit, because the instant, like almost the very second that a character stops moving in the 3D animation, it begins to look weird and artificial. Like it's like, wow, this is kind of weird. Why aren't they moving? Because 3D is supposed to mimic real life more than a cartoon usually. And so when you have like people don't really stand completely solidly still in real life unless something is wrong. So same thing goes with 3D. Amber Shyland says, sucks trying to VA nowadays. You can manage anime and cartoons, but as soon as a big movie comes up, you're either a background character or non-existent as a regular character takes MC's lead. Yeah, for some reason. I don't know why they do that either. Anyway, chat. Anyway, we started this video about how Jax is a bad character, a terrible character, and it's not necessarily a bad thing because he's a terrible character by morality's sake, I guess. But by being a common, let's check it out. Let's finish it up. If it allows us. 1 second here. Why is it let me reload it real quick. Should be working now. Fantastic. Here we go, chat. There we go. Boom.
Master breaking the illusion. Now, I've brought this up before, but what do I mean by this? Well, I know this has come off as super focused on a single scene, but it's a scene that I feel has the issues and highlights them extremely well. Then I'll go into a couple of other parts. Here's the scene in question.
Never mind.
I wish I'd pried a little more. I somehow forgot how bad it can get.
Now, this may not seem like a big moment, but it kind of flies in the face of pretty much all of Pomni's development and personality just to make Jax abstract. Hell, you don't even have to go to another episode to make this point. You don't need to go back a few minutes of the finale.
We can't fix every problem. Not with our...
And like I said yesterday, I know the whole idea here is supposedly is that we wanted to make it as surprising as it is in real life, because abstracting is like the equivalent of suicide or death or something like that. So, and I was like, okay, well, that I can understand. I can understand to make it more shocking or whatever, but couldn't have been a little bit better, like Pomni, like Man Comment has a point here. Right, Man Comment has a point here where it's like, okay, Pomni being Pomni should have gone. It should have been like a scene where Pomni goes to go check on Jax because they haven't seen him in a while, and boom, you open the door and it's Jax. He's abstracted, and it echoes to the first day that Pomni arrived, where they found Kaufmo. Where I was like, "Oh, where's Kaufmo?" And they look in Kaufmo's room. Boom, abstracted. It was like poetry. It rhymes. It would have been better that way, right? It's like maybe then things would have been different. And then we go like, "Where's Jax? I haven't seen him in a while." And he opened the door and boom, he's abstracted. It's a Norman 65 says, I'll show you Chud. I'll show you Chuds. I'll tank this entire company. That'll teach you something. Something. Take that, woke Chuds. Yeah, woke media bros. Exactly. That's kind of exactly what happens, by the way. It's like, aha, we might have lost like $500 million, but we made you angry for a few minutes. We got you to tweet a couple times about this, right? Right? That's kind of what happens. Anyway. Yeah, that is kind of what happens. Take that, Chuds. Yeah, all they do is hurt. It's a. I'm trying to remember that thing. What was it? Oh yeah, it was Ben Yancey Croshaw who had this whole thing last time years and years and years ago during like some of the original of console wars, like Xbox One versus the PS4, I think, and then like just he made fun of Microsoft because Microsoft was doing all the wrong crap. Well, they're doing the crap they're doing now, but everyone was calling on them back then. But Microsoft was like, okay, our Xbox One is going to be always online and no discs. And Yahtzee was like, and then Microsoft got on stage and started stabbing itself with the stomach, going, "It's for your own good. It's for your own good." That's exactly what it's like now. They're getting just all these companies and things trying to own the Chuds are just getting up on stage and stabbing themselves with a knife on stage, screaming, "It's for your own good. It's for your own good." They're happily destroying themselves, hoping that their message will just thinking that they're making a change when really they're just being rejected. Thank you very much, a normal man. Appreciate it.
Ourselves, not with the world around us. But we can still do what we can.
It's gonna be a lot of work.
But it won't be a lot of work alone.
So you're telling me, despite Kinger saying that stuff and inspiring Pomni to help the others, that she wouldn't have...
It's Zamus wins. Says EAC's ending shits the bed so hard. I would have to agree, unfortunately. I was hoping for a really good ending. I just a good like final stroke to the end of the series, but no, it's not how it works. Apparently, they decided to do a just therapy session in the movie and move right along with that and give us no real conclusions or anything of that. And we're supposed to say this is genius because you didn't give us what we wanted. Now, giving the audience what they want isn't always exactly the goal. You have to do it, but you have to do that masterfully. But here's the thing. It's not about giving us what we want. It's about giving us a conclusion, a beginning, middle, and end. Now, the end can be a downer ending. It could be a neutral ending, be a good ending. It can leave things up for questioning, but you have to give us a conclusion to what you started. And the movie does not do that at all. The movie starts like 3 times and ends with none of those.
Tried again with Jax. And if you don't believe that alone be enough, how about this?
What?
Fill me in later.
Be here later.
Be here later. Or this.
Hey, you all right?
I'm great.
And... my point is, even after the fight between the two in the gun episode, it's clear Pomni still cared to Jax for some extent, checking in on him, making sure he would come back. You're telling me the moment that Jax, the same Jax who was willing to physically push Pomni away, has a small crack in the armor coming up to Pomni while the rest of the cast are rebuilding the entire circus, something that they never really did before, and Pomni wouldn't go after Jax, not even trying to reach out to them? She wouldn't stop Jax just to reach out to the rabbit? To me, this doesn't make sense, and because she didn't reach out despite continually doing so even after their fight, Jax ups and abstracts. It feels that to make Pomni give up her main character trait, especially since before the finale, we see her and the rest of the cast coming together. It's so weird that Pomni, the girl whose whole shtick is to help others and has been trying to make sure that the group has each other, does nothing here. It's puzzling, since even from a more practical standpoint,
It's characters acting out of character for the sake of the plot. Yeah. so that we can have this whole thing happen. We can have like Jax go off and not be noticed by anybody, and just kind of abstract off screen.
Point, wouldn't you want to make sure that Jax doesn't abstract? Because these guys can not only be volatile and mess you up via touch, just so things in this already crappy situation don't get worse? Shouldn't making sure that Jax doesn't become a monster, well, more than usual, be a concern? Especially when the character who throughout this entire series has been slamming heads against Jax, Zubul, says this.
That includes you too. Listen, we're not gonna have you wandering off alone somewhere and abstracting or something. You're a pain in the ass, but you're still one of us.
Well, that just frickin' happens. Another example would be the ribbit thing. Basically, after Jax unloads, they may have killed their mother and ran away from home to Ribbit with Kaufmo and...
Yeah, apparently like this drop on us like, okay, first of all, Jax might have killed his own mom. And then having confessed that to Ribbit, he pushes Ribbit so hard away that it feels almost orchestrated that Jax kind of convinces Ribbit to go abstract, because Jax was cutting himself off from Ribbit at such a hardcore level that what you're going to do? That's what it seems like.
Interrupting them, Jax begins to push Ribbit away, despite the two becoming closer ever since Jax's introduction to the circus. Eventually, this would lead to Ribbit abstracting, which indirectly is caused by Jax. And it sticks out more because Ribbit basically explained to Jax...
Yeah, kind of indirectly, like Jax starts cutting off Ribbit, but then it's like it feels almost orchestrated, like Jax wanted Ribbit gone so that she could never, reveal what Jax revealed to her, and that sort of thing. I don't know what was it that like then something that I should not have told you, and I want you gone because I don't want anyone to know this about me who can tell it, or something like that. That's what it felt like to me. Like it was determined and deliberate, and then so like Jax didn't feel bad about it. Maybe he felt guilty about it later, but in the moment, thought this was the best course of action was to actually push Ribbit into abstraction.
That she regrets cutting ties with her Mormon parents, wishing to slither the gem, which isn't possible now that she's a brain scan trapped in a digital circus. So Jax isolating Ribbit is kind of hitting on a very touchy subject for Ribbit.
And also, yeah, how come if they're just brain scans, why can't they bring him back from abstraction? Why is it impossible? There's a lot of things that just happen that we don't really get explanations of that kind of feel very important. The lore and stuff. Like, what's the whole point of Pomni being able to just like absorb herself into Jax when he's abstracted and like dive into his mindset? Because Jax is still in there. Jax is abstracted, but he's obviously still in there. He's still aware. It's not like Jax is gone. So why can't they bring him back? Like having that whole thing where you can go inside and talk to the person again once they've abstracted. It's like, well, why can't they bring him back? Actually. Making Jax sympathetic would have worked more if Ribbit brought up the event in person later, or hinted to others that she knew something about Jax. Something to like spark the harsh reaction that Jax would have. I just how you betrayed me, so now I'm going to destroy you, kind of thing.
And exploiting her issues. I want to point out, I do appreciate this from a writing perspective. The acting, the symbolism, and all that jazz is really well done, and it's not my issue here. My issue is, what were the other members of the circus doing while Rupert was being ostracized by Jax?
You didn't do anything.
The most we get to explain this is that Jax is asking Ragatha about a movie, and Jax telling Kaufmo not to trust anything that Ribbit says about the purple bun bun. Kaufmo especially, since it's explicitly shown that the clown and Ribbit were friends before Jax even got here, discovering and even using that cafe to hang out in. And what about Ragatha? She was here too. Did these two just not talk to Ribbit or try to include her in anything as well? Try to figure out what's going on with her by herself? Did Jax do more than what we saw, or is everyone there just the most introverted people on the planet?
What do you actually do around here, man?
I ask these questions because it's really weird that no one else in the circus apparently didn't try to help Ribbit. The best you got was Kaufmo asking Jax what was up with Ribbit.
What's up with Ribbit lately?
Why don't you ask Ribbit yourself, you crazy clown? What is character agency? Ribbit herself is kind of weird because even with Jax withdrew from her, couldn't she have tried to connect with Ragatha and Kaufmo? I assume she did at one point because she was friends with Kaufmo before. Now, why am I bringing this up? Because these choices in the writing go against established characterizations, even to the point where they make no sense for specific characters. It's to facilitate the writing choices and get Jax to the point of abstraction. Granted, that's going to be up to each individual. It's kind of like suspension of disbelief, and that's going to be different for each person watching this. Maybe you can overlook Pomni not doing anything to help Jax, but the rabbit was actually about to reach out but stopped at the last minute.
Yeah, I think Pomni would have just like going, okay, Jax, you obviously want to talk with it. Let's hash this out. I'm pretty sure Pomni would have gone there instead of just like, let him go and go, okay. It's Xander says, LD, in my opinion, abstraction should have been a high of good memories like we saw Jax experience in episode 7. It could have been a complex dilemma Kane made where he's like, well, they're happy, so it's fine. That'd be kind of interesting. Like instead of just being they get so sad that they kind of just get enveloped in a world of joy and positivity. Kai says, I guess abstractions can be seen as scripted files, basically, which would explain why they're considered gone. I mean, I guess it could be the case, and I guess maybe Kane made that little basement, which is like maybe that's the discarded, was it a recycling bin or something like that? Because they're just there. Let's see. Wildcard says the Amazing Joe Circus is the most mediocre pile of crap I've ever seen. And mind you, I haven't even watched the pilot. I'm already not interested. I mean, I thought it was pretty interesting where it was leading up. I do like some of the characters, but the ending, man, the ending just let everybody down. Hello to you, Alex Halo. Hello to you. Welcome.
But to me, it doesn't make sense, because throughout the entire series, we saw Pomni trying to extend a hand to anyone she could, Jax especially, and even more so after their fight, as I demonstrated. So the fact that Pomni didn't even attempt at that point doesn't work for me, and it comes off as artificial. Of course, there's going to be some people who will claim that I don't know anything about what I'm talking about when it comes to Jax, so let's address that, shall we? Ultimately, the story of Jax is one of warning. It's a warning of what can happen, that despite the abuse you take and the walls you build up to protect yourself, that it can be a detriment and even abusive if taken too far. It's also a story about not taking the hands that want to help you. Maybe I didn't word this right, but Jax is a character who you're not supposed to feel sympathy for. You're supposed to see where they're coming from. Divorced parents, growing up in a household where the constant back and forth between not being man enough or being too toxic of a man, ebbing and flowing from a parental figure. And when you finally show emotion, you get...
That's kind of another thing I had an issue with Amazing Joe Circus. I know they're all supposed to be people. Like, technically, they're all supposed to be people, but they're all kind of treated the same way. Like the way they kind of step out of their roles. Like Gangle's supposed to be the sad one, right? Like Gangle's supposed to be the Ted Buckland. And we would like the like Scrubs, right? Scrubs. You go to Scrubs, Ted Buckland is like the guy who's like, his life sucks, just everyone is just making fun of him. We find out that he's divorced, he sleeps in the same bed as his mom. All that stuff. He's like, yeah, we lost the house. My mom's in the car with the cats. He's like, stop smiling, Ted. Your life sucks. Oh, let's putting my smile away and on with my day. Hey, Teddy, looking tired and sweaty. That's his role. His role is to be the sad sack, right? That's the I'm not the toss little sad sack, am I? Yeah, you kind of are, Ted. Oh. That's what Gangle's role should have been. It's like the one that we go to Gangle to see some sad crap happen. Like comedic sad crap. But then it kind of turned Gangle into like, oh, you're sad and we should take this seriously. Like, it's not funny. It's not this funny sad. It's more like depressing sad. and Zubal's the grumpy one, and she just becomes like this grumpy, and we kind of like stop being amusingly grumpy and becoming more like seriously grumpy. Like, oh, there's actual issues here. Like everyone could have stepped out of the role, right? It's out of their role of what they're supposed to be playing. Like Ragatha's supposed to be the chipper optimistic one, but then we have to come down to earth, and it gets like really, really, like really, really serious. I know there's supposed to be people, and we're supposed to get there, like, conversation wise. But there's a way to do it where, like, we still like JD, Elliot, Turk from Scrubs. They all have their quirks and their funny traits, but then they can also come back to seriousness, to dramatic back and forths, losses, pain, anguish, all that stuff, and then still also be comedic. And they could have done that here too. We want to see, we want to laugh at Gangle being sad. We want to laugh at Zubul being grumpy. We want to do that, but we could, and then also have serious conversations. We could do both. It just didn't. It kind of like, okay, well, we're not supposed to laugh at Gangle being sad. I guess not. And see, Dave Husband says, LD, is there any plan to stream for July 4th? I'm probably not going to comment too much on TDAC since I haven't watched it. It's possible. I have been invited to a July the 4th party. I'm thinking about going, but we'll see how it goes. I might stream in the morning and then go off later on. It might be the case. Zayas Isabel says, according to Goose, when the character Scratch first abstracted, it was because Kane saw he was sad and tried to, I guess, try to alter his mind or something. We don't know, because they kind of mention, the Scratch, the first abstraction, right, as like some sort of mythical event that we're going to eventually get to, and we just never did. Now, Scratch does show up in the movie, but only for a split second. Literally, I don't think Scratch is even in the movie for like a whole second. I think he just pops in. Let's see. It's a Freudian excuse is no excuse. Basically, a great lesson. I don't think TDAC did a good job with it, though. I don't think it does either. Because it doesn't conclude anything. It kind of starts things, but doesn't conclude anything.
Laughed at, and then hugged. It gives all sorts of weird messages, with the hot and cold behavior resulting in Jax pushing their mother, thinking that their mother was dead because of it. Running away from their actions and possible law enforcement, Jax became homeless for a while, eventually finding their way into the abandoned CNA building, curiously putting on the headset and creating the virtual Jax. Eventually, Jax's walls did lower after spending time with Ribbit and Kaufmo, expressing what had happened to Ribbit. But then paranoia began to seep in, and Jax pushed away Ribbit and Kaufmo, the two characters who reached out the most, and because of that, they abstracted. In the case of Ribbit, effectively projecting their own issues onto the girl who would open up to Jax. Jax is supposed to be a cautionary tale of what happens when you keep your guard up for too much, where you push others away who try to help you out of paranoia and fear of being hurt again. Throw on some self-hatred and you got yourself a ticking time bomb. It makes sense to me to a degree. Jax had countless paths open to heal from this sort of thing, but closed each and every one of them off. And Leroy, the actual person that Jax was a brain scan of, actually managed to move on with his life, making friends and continued onwards, even becoming a postman, which, as someone who worked in the postal industry, that's not good for mental health.
I was hoping that, like, one of them would be dead, because man, they kind of set up an interesting dilemma where it's like, okay, since they're brain scans, because with the mind that I have, where it's like, okay, well, this has to mean something, right? They're brain scans, which means that in any length of time could have passed since their brain scans were put into the files, right? Since the file was made, like it could be a year since the file was made before Kane brought them into the circus. It could be 5, 10 years, 100 years. We don't know. Okay, so I thought it's like, wow, that's going to be interesting. Like maybe Rakatha is like from 10 years ago, and maybe like Pomni is from like 2 years ago or something like that. I thought it was going to be like kind of disjointed, where they find out that we never asked each other, like, where are we from? Like, how long ago what year do you think it is? That sort of thing. And then and not only that, we have more time pass as they learn how to control things, and they learn about the circus and everything like that. So I thought it was going to be like, that was going to be a big issue, because we kind of revealed that at the beginning of the movie, like, oh, maybe it's going to be, something's going to be interesting. Like maybe something is going to be weird here, or maybe one person is going to be dead or something like that. Right. But no. Everything's fine. I thought it was going to be like, okay, maybe, Pomni went out, Pomni she remembers being like 27, but her real life person is like 40 now. Like that would have been a big shock, right? It'd be kind of crazy. Maybe Kinger's real life person is dead. It could totally be the case, but that didn't happen. And everyone's like, fine. And they do ask the question, like, is this real? Which probably it is. But like, man, it's way too heavy hand. Like everyone is still alive. Everyone's fine. Everyone got cool jobs and stuff. It's not like, a happy ending. It's like, storybook ending, but it's like everyone's doing better now and stuff. It's like, oh, okay. So I guess the implication that we're all just brain scans and that Kane very clearly brings in people out of order and everything, that never came to fruition. Okay, so the whole setup was not really played on. We didn't really dive into that. So there was no exploration to the first abstraction. There was no like issue where we tackled the idea that the brain scans and therefore could be out of time and everything. They could be outside time where they believe they entered the whole thing. It could be long gone, like the whole thing with the studio or the company could be long gone, and Kinger's guy is long dead because he died of old age or something like that. We could have had that. We could have had the deep dive in the first abstraction. We could have had an interesting look into who's still alive, what happened, how many years has it been, but no, they don't get any of that. I don't even a little bit. We just kind of like move along with that as everything's fine, to the point where we have like a shot at the end of the movie where all the real life people who whose brains made up the main cast of the Amazing Digital Circus are just like hanging out at a bus stop together. Like, oh, I guess everything's cool. Everything's fine. It actually hasn't been that long, I suppose. This one says how long the TADC cast spent in the circus would go to the end game section of Spark Electric Gesture 3 routes. Apparently, it hasn't been that long. Maybe a couple of years. It couldn't have been. They're all still alive and look relatively the same.
We don't know exactly what happened to Leroy to improve or open himself up. And I think that's fine to an extent, and it's not a problem. I think it's a fine tale to showcase trust issues. It's insanely hard to open up to people, especially when you have voices in your head that constantly remind you of stuff that you've done and tell you that you're not worth anything. One of the prevailing themes of the Amazing Digital Circus is about accepting help, connections, and not giving up on others. And Jax is supposed to be what happens when, well, that stuff's ignored. And Jax acts as a foil to Pomni, who effectively represents the show to a T. My issues aren't really connected with any of that. It's more the case that the cast becomes reactive props to Jax. Tying the fact the early episodes were clearly meant to be that for an ensemble show, we then get this harsh pivot into a heavy character study. And looking back retroactively, it makes the first half of the show feel like it was written differently. The point of Jax's characters, they're supposed to be irredeemable and unlikable. Granted, I think the show goes above and beyond that with Jax's character and how they treat everyone else in the circus.
You are my playthings, and I get joy out of making you suffer.
But the bigger issue is that the plot shouldn't bend around them inconsistently, especially with Pomni's core character trait getting sidelined just so Jax can actually abstract. And it's clear they were writing shortcuts, at least to me, since it removed agency from the characters in order to have the tragedy actually work. Jax is a terrible character. Not terribly written, but more so that they're a very flawed individual. My issues I have with Jax don't have anything to do with the identity or the material itself. It's the writing that serves the story, or feels like retroactive justification to make it work that gets to me. This whole thing isn't me going, it's bad objectively. It's more to the point, this is why it was pulled out from the whole...
That's my job, okay? Don't step on my toes, Mega Common. It's my job to point out things and say it's objectively bad. Apparently Kane was created in 1996. The time the show took place in 2017. I mean, they don't really state that at all in the show itself. It's like as far as I know, maybe I missed something on the thing, but yeah, they don't really state that or go into that. But it isn't really. I mean, Kinger doesn't even look that old. Kinger, the guy that made Kinger's brain scan, he looks like he's in his 30s. He didn't even look. I was measuring like his old man, like he's 50, 60 something old man, because of how wise he is. He's a little quirky, like very like, but he's like absent-minded old wizard. But no, he's like in his 30s. Is there another example of the trope? Let's watch people go through therapy. I don't know. Yeah. Oh, actually, is there another example in another story? Yes. But only like modern day stuff, because it's like the whole therapy session section is kind of a millennial thing, because the millennial generation for some reason worships at the altar of therapy. Like it's the millennial religion is therapy. So there are literal therapy sessions in a lot of millennial works, and one form or another. It's in anime it is like thought 30s is old man age. I mean, at that point, the Greeks thought you finally reach adulthood at 30. So the Greeks are like, oh, you're 30, so now you're a full developed grown man. Not necessarily like the at the point of like, you now you're not a kid anymore. It's more like you are now a man and should be able to, hold your own. You're wizened. You should know things by now. And see, at least that was told to me by my philosophy teacher. And see. But yeah, it's more like it's anime. It's like, oh yeah, you're old. You're 30, man. You're an old man. An old man. Anyway,
thing and it lessened the experience for me. Well, there are other issues I have with the finale, but I already made.
If you take Gooseworks' word for it, he should be pushing 70. But maybe we didn't really get a good look at the guy, and maybe we didn't. But yeah, the guy that made Kinger's Brain Scan, looks like he's 30, maybe early 40s.
Made a video on that. Whatever. And while my experience was lessened, I also need to talk about Jax's character. Again, my issues have nothing to do with them being trans or whatever. Identity isn't the issue here.
Yeah, there's if you look at it objectively, there's nothing in the show to hint that Jax is trans. They're like Ribbit and Jax are clearly getting like very connected and very close. And it's like, oh, they're being intimate. Not that suddenly Jax is trans. I mean, you could think that, I guess, if you're a wackadoo, but like that's not to normal people. There's no hint that Jax is trans, like at all.
For this section, it's more the personality and actions that kind of get me. Whenever you make a tragic character and they turn out to be a jackass lashing out via their issues and such, there's always going to be the risk of pushing away some viewers because of their actions. And just because you give someone a sad backstory or have tragic events, there are still going to be people who don't like the character. And for me, Jax kind of broke my limit with that. Because throughout the story, we've been seeing mostly negative traits and actions from Jax, from the constant bullying of Gangle to throwing Ragatha into Deep Fryer, invading personal space.
I've got keys everywhere, and you've all been fine. I may have left something in your room today, so let me know if you find it. You're not afraid of centipedes, are you?
Jax!
Not to mention gaslighting, and is fully willing to prey on others' insecurities and fears. Now, I've said it before, but there's nothing wrong with making a jackass character or a character who does evil and terrible things.
I want to kill that guy.
There's nothing wrong with liking that. I'm a Yoshikage Kira fan.
Oh, put a socket.
Who is that? Is the guy from JoJo? I haven't seen this far into JoJo, I guess.
Better yet, why not take the whole foot?
You can't get more demented than that. My point is, after so many episodes of showcasing
I like Shishio. I like Makoto Shishio. I know that guy. He's pretty evil.
That Jax has been a terrible person to most of the cast, it shouldn't come off as a shock that there are people who, despite the nuance that is given in the last episode, still do not like the purple bun, even if that is the point. And they couldn't really care less for the character in the process. Most of the time.
Here's the thing, though, right? Like, it's what's still so interesting to me is that everyone hated Jax until they thought he was trans, and all of a sudden, all is forgiven. Suddenly, everything is fine now in the land of milk and honey. Oh, it's okay because he was trans.
Most of the time, up until the finale, Jack's been nothing more than a jackass who more often than not doesn't really face any meaningful consequences for their actions. One scene that really comes to mind is this.
Gangle's up to bat. How do you think this is gonna go?
Would you stop trying to force her to act like you?
I ain't forcing anything on you.
And then you just act like you never do anything wrong and everybody loves you, when in reality you just fuck everything up for everyone else. I'm sorry, Pomni.
No apologies for me. This is so sad.
I'm sorry, Jax.
And keep in mind that Jax, they put him in the maid outfit and he hated it. So he hated it. He hated the whole thing. Like, I'm vegetarian now, or I'm vegan now, or whatever, because they did that to him as a funny thing. Like the whole thing where he's like in a dress now is going to be funny, but they kind of retroactively made it like, oh, he's trans. He's kind of rejecting. Like, no. It's just let some things be funny, right? Everything has to be like a setup for everyone being trans all of a sudden. Some things are allowed to be just to be funny. It's possible. Let's see. Dave Busman says, I feel like if TDAC is inspired by AM, go full into their unreasonable but understandable hatred, that would make more sense. I think so. Probably. It's just, Kane is like another version of AM, like the flip version of AM, where he's just he likes humans so much that it drives him insane. So, which is kind of an interesting idea to explore, but I don't think they go, the direction they thought they were going to go. I don't think they go to full blown AM flip. Not entirely.
For bringing up that thing earlier.
I mean, is Ragatha in the wrong here about Jax? She accurately points out that Jax does this crap and then forces herself to apologize to Jax. Sure, there are people out there who will point to things like getting strangled by Zooble or the brainwashing segment in Spudsies, but it's clear they weren't enough to make Jax have some introspection and maybe lessen his choices in the circus. A tragic backstory can be effective to add nuance and context to a character's actions.
One of the things that makes that it is the design choice for Jax makes him very interesting is that he's round. So he's very friendly. So that's kind of like he's a jerk, but he's not intimidating. And also he has big giant eyes, which makes him like soulful and sympathetic. So the design choice is pretty good. It's pretty well handled here because he has his personality conflicts with his character design, and I think that's a pretty good decision. Let's see
personality, but there is
it's on YouTube for free. You can just watch it on YouTube if you want to. The entire series now.
Still a limit to that can be broken. And if that backstory comes too late in the story, like even after the character's already friggin' dead, then that just adds on to it. Maybe you had actual snippets and parts to Jax's backstory that happened before the finale. Maybe I could see myself having a bit more leeway to endearing myself with all the character. With how it is now, I'm more than halfway tempted to go all Yakuza on this rabbit. Merry Christmas. Yeah, it sucks Jax had a shitty childhood. He may have murdered his mother and has clear mental issues, but that doesn't make me care for the character or even like him. And that's a tightrope you cross when you make a character like Jax. Jax is a tale of caution to the viewer that you shouldn't close yourself off from others, but Jax had near countless people reach out to him, swatting them all away, with 2 of them ending up abstracted because of Jax. The Bun has practically been surrounded ever since entering the circus with people who want to offer support to them. The show wants us to see the tragedy in Jax pushing away everyone, but because we spent so many episodes only seeing the bullying with almost no cracks in the armor, the finale reveal feels like too little too late to me. Even in the finale, Jax's vulnerability is revealed after they're dead. And honestly speaking, only for myself, the tragedy doesn't outweigh the last 2 years of material to offset that. When you have characters like this, you either want to see the damage they caused and the small moments of self-awareness or pain much earlier in the series. So when the tragic beat hits, they land harder. And maybe this is just a me thing, but because Jax was a jackass throughout the show, it made it harder for me to actually care for them. Jax is a character.
Well, yeah, you're not really supposed to like feel sorry for Jax. You're not supposed to feel sorry for the asshole. That's kind of the whole thing that I think they got wrong. It's like, okay, this guy's an asshole. Like Dr. Cox, right, from Scrubs. You don't really ever feel sorry for the guy on a regular basis. Now, there are certain episodes where you do, but only it kind of stems from doesn't stem from him being a sad boy. It stems from him like his one thing that he cares about being crushed. Like it's an active thing. Like so Dr. Cox from Scrubs he puts a lot of value in his self-image. That's what it is. So he outright tells JD at one point where he's been crushed specifically hard. During one of the greatest episodes of the series, which is like the one where he loses a bunch of patients at once. He's like, he has this trouble, like this. He wants people to see him as unbreakable, invincible. This guy who has all the answers. This guy who's can't be toppled, can't be crushed, because he likes being the pillar that everyone revolves around. In the hospital, he likes being the strong guy, the guy who's never bothered, the guy who's never overwhelmed, and he lost it. He couldn't. He lost 3 guys, and a lot of them were. I think it was 3, and it was due to his decision making. Like he gave them contaminated organs, and those organs killed them. So it wasn't just like I lost a patient; it was I killed these patients. That's kind of what it was with Dr. Cox. So the thing is. When we kind of feel his sadness and the pain, because deep down we know it's not just about his image. It's he feels the guilt of having caused these deaths. It wasn't about some game or anything. It was we can feel like when he's just he curses loudly and he screams and he's like his eyes are like red and he's about to cry, like he's holding back tears. It's not because I lost, is because he feels guilty. He's taking it so hard because he caused these deaths. You can't, and that's tough. That's tough, and you can really feel sorry for Cox there. But 9 times out of 10, outside of an episode like that, you're not supposed to feel sorry for Dr. Cox. Like, he's like the jackass. He's the guy who makes the quips, the insults, and things like that. And it's like, I guess there is a pattern to it. There's a formula to it, but you got to make sure that that we're not going to feel this deep empathy for Jax. Like, not unless you give us something to feel empathy for. Like the whole thing where, oh, he's sad now. I don't care. Right. The whole thing with Dr. Cox is that it was activated. Like, it was switched. Like, we were given a thing that he cares about, and we saw it being taken away. The idea of like Jax going off to be sad somewhere out of nowhere is like, oh, you have a sad backstory. Like, I don't care. Right? It's because Dr. Cox was trying. He was putting so much effort into saving these people, and he cared so much, and he failed. And that's kind of what made it so empathetic and so sympathetic. And so if we had seen Jax try to do something, if he was like, he put in a lot of effort into something, and we see him try, we see him build something up, and then it failed, then we can have a moment where we sympathize with Jax. But if Jax is just kind of like an asshole, and then he's like, oh yeah, well, I had a bad parentage, I don't care. Because you know where else he did that? They did with Jordan, Dr. Cox's wife, where she's like, my parents are really mean to me. It was like a joke because that's dumb. The show even knew to make that a joke because it's stupid. Like, okay, so what if your parents were mean to you? What that doesn't really matter. It doesn't really excuse you being a jerk to everybody. I mean, the characters do that in the show. Like, okay, oh, well, that's okay. Well, your parents are really mean to you, so that's fine. But it's like a joke because that's dumb. All right. The idea here is that Jax is Cox and Scrubs tried and was so passionate about this thing. He's doing everything he could to win this battle against death, and failed. And not only did he fail, he caused his own failure. And so if Jax had tried that, not only tried something and worked towards something, but at the end not only failed, but caused his own failure by accident due to his own hubris or whatever it might be, then we can feel a strong moment of empathy for him and sympathy for him. But that's not what we got. It's just like we're supposed to feel empathy and sympathy for a character because he has a sad backstory. It's not really as effective as some people think it might be.
Character that ultimately asks the audience to extend a lot of grace and patience, but the show didn't give us enough of a reason to want to extend that grace until the credits were basically rolling. Obviously, I can see the vision. It is a tale of warning, and I can see why people do like Jax, but I can also see why there are people who don't like Jax, even with the knowledge of the character being a cautionary tale. Even if that is the point of Jax, there are still going to be people who acknowledge it, but still say the character is too much of a jackass to make people really care, especially when it comes at the expense of other characters. If we're just looking at the sum of the parts of Jax's character and story, there's a very tragic and saddening tale here. And for a lot of people, that really connected with them. And for those people, I'm glad for that. I don't think this is the worst written show of all time, far from it. I do have issues with the finale and obviously the writing of Jax's story, but ultimately, The Amazing Noodle Circus was a series that I did enjoy. I personally believe that there are ways to make this more cohesive, though, and one where you don't need to ignore the characterizations of the rest of the cast to make Jax's story work. I can see why people like Jax, but I can also see why people hate the character. Ultimately, when it comes to terrible people as characters, you run the risk of alienating people from wanting to understand the character for what made them the way they are. Yeah, I don't like Jax as a character, but my bigger issues were with the character writing and the bending of the narrative, and not exactly what the character was doing. I guess the best way to put it is I appreciated the core of the message and the tale of warning, but I do think the writing is rough around the edges. Like, I wouldn't say that Jax is written poorly, not by a long shot, but I would say that subtlety isn't the strong suit of the series, and I wouldn't consider the writing of Jax to be great. It's fine. Not immaculate, but not poor. Also, most of the characters tend to not really change in the rest of the cast, but it's still an interesting romp. I clearly don't hate the show, nor do I hate Jax. Yeah, Jax is a character I do not like. It's not perfect, but the journey was fun, if a bit aimless at times. But what do you guys think? Am I off base, or do I have an actual point? Let me know down below, and either way, have a lovely day.
There you go, chat. Yeah, it was they kind of man, the movie really handled things awful. It was terrible. It should have had some, an ending, appropriate ending, where we kind of get answers, because that's the last episode. We're not going to get any more. All right, we should have had some answers by the end of all that. It should have been some satisfactory conclusions, at least one satisfactory conclusion. But the main thing we get from the movie of Amazing Little Circus, episode 9, the final act, is pretty much just that they're brain scans, and we get that at the beginning of the movie. They don't have to figure that out. I mean, I guess they kind of figure it out. What Kinger does anyway, but it's not like a big reveal towards the end of the movie or anything. So they get that at the beginning, which means that they should have been played upon. Right? It should have been like something that they utilized to whatever that meant. The whole thing with their brain scans should have meant that this is going to be the inciting incident that sparks the ending, but it didn't. It didn't really matter that much. Like, there's nothing. So I know, like, okay, well, maybe it does, because it caused Kane to come back, and they get they're fine with the circus now because they're just brain scans and they are of the circus now. But the thing is, they don't really get there. Kane just pops up and hands them the ending. They don't get to the ending. Kane pops up and hands them the ending. But there's no link. There's no arc of cause and effect that leads them to the ending. Like, it should have been, if that was going to be the case, then there should have been like a whole movie about the crew like bringing back Kane for some reason, and then Kane coming back and then giving them that ending, or like leading them to the ending, at least like Virgil, from Dante's Inferno. Just guide them there. But they didn't. Kane is just back. And because the whole thing, to give it the most generous interpretation, it's kind of like, okay, well, so being brain scans might equal them being okay, or coming to terms with the fact that they're just trapped in the circus, because they're not trapped there, actually. They live there. They exist there. They exist to be there. Right? So the idea is that this is like, okay, well, I mean, we're supposed to be here, so maybe they become better acquainted with the circus and learn to appreciate it, and then they learned, they try to bring back Kane, and eventually this should lead to them being okay with being in the circus, which leads to them kind of like letting go of their quote unquote real selves. Right? That's kind of the idea. That would be my interpretation of where the movie should have gone, based on traditional narrative structure. The idea of brain scans, learning that they're brain scans at the beginning, should be the inciting incident that leads them to the ending. And we don't. It's the inciting incident that leads them to trying to figure out how to build the circus. But then we kind of get the Jack story, which is a whole different thing. And then Kane is back and his hands in the ending. They don't earn the ending. They just get gifted it. And see, so that says, LD, I'm in late, but wanted to point out 3-ish generations of Americans grew up with broadcast and sized cartoon blocks, and therefore think animation is for kids. I mean, that is true. Something they think the same thing about comics, which is not true. There's a lot of comics out there that are really good, that contain really good stories that are definitely not for kids, but they're really good stories, I think. So yeah, I mean, I think it kind of started with the whole idea of that I guess that was either pioneered or made a standard by Stan Lee, because he, according to one of his stories, in any case, he learned that kids were reading comics and like, you know what, we got to make the comics more kid friendly, because I don't want our comics to harm kids in any way. So I want them to have good lessons. I want them to have good values. Or at the very least, I don't want them to walk away from reading a comic with any kind of like bad thoughts, like crime is cool or something like that. So it kind of, so Stanley kind of made his comics more child safe. So that might have been a start of it. That might have been a start of it. But yeah, so we had a lot of kids cartoons, a lot of comics that were kind of geared towards children. And so in America, at the very least, cartoons and comics tend to be seen as for children, which they are definitely not necessarily for children. They are just mediums. You can have an adult 2D animation. You can have an adult comic book, not like a pornography, but like, more adult centric things that things in that comic that are not for kids, like nudity, blood, copious amounts of violence, gore, things like that. So it's how it's supposed to go. They're just mediums. It's like that you could have a comic made for kids, but you could also have a comic made for adults, right? That's how it should be. Like some people might think anime is just like, oh, that's one genre. Like, anime is not a genre. There are genres of anime, but anime is essentially just 2D animation from Japan or Korea or whatever it is. It's so weird for me to hear someone go, I don't like anime. Well, what do you mean you don't like anime? It's like saying you don't like movies. That's weird. Like, you don't like any anime? It's very strange. I guess you don't like the style of Japan or something, like the way they write stuff, but like it's very strange to me to hear someone say, I don't like anime. Because the thing is, there's so much of it, and there's so many kind of genres and stuff that there has to be something you like that happens to be anime. But anyway, chat. It's a thing. If only we had more comics that were more like that, showing kids that being a criminal doesn't work out. Yeah, that's one of the ideas of Lady Midnight. Like, just being evil is not really the way to go. It just isn't. But there's always good out there. Like, evil exists, but good exists too. That's kind of, and for the very first Lady Midnight comic I made, which is like the one that came out with in Dr. Alpha Miracle Child, the one it's like an extra story in there. That was the first Lady Midnight comic I made, and it's all about how bad things can happen, but good things can happen too. Anyway, chat. Anyway, let's check this out, chat. Let's check this out. So, next up, Adaptation is the Death of the Human Spirit. Let's check it out by the Real Fake Wizard. See what he has to say.
Real-life fake wizard. Adaptations are the death of the human spirit. Yes, you remember playing telephone in grade school? Well, regardless, here's the premise. A bunch of kids sit in a circle.
Oh, that's an interesting perspective. The idea of adaptation, and it's like a game of telephone, because the game of telephone is like you whisper something into a person's ear and it goes down the line and it gets destroyed by the end, right? So I guess you could say adaptation might do that, like adaptation from the original source material into like a movie or something will lose something or change something, and then if someone adapts that, then it's going to be something a little bit different, right? That's interesting.
One kid whispers a sentence into the next kid's ear, then that kid whispers what he thinks he heard into the next kid's ear, and that continues around the circle of kids, all whispering what they perceive is the same message to the next kid until it gets back to the first kid. Now, there are rules to this game, however. The kid whispering the message can only say it once. So the listener really has to try their best to fill in what the message was if they missed something when they heard it. But it doesn't matter. See, by the time the message has gone around the whole circle, there's a great chance that the message has changed, either because kids along the way didn't quite understand what the previous kid was saying, or perhaps there was a silly goose of a kid in there who thought it would be very funny to change the message completely. When you're 8 years old, this is fun. It's a great distraction from classwork. And for me personally, it's a core memory from the 4th grade. But as an adult, it's not funny anymore. And this game of telephone is being played not by children, but by millionaire and billionaire executives playing not.
The one that bugs me the most is when people say that all anime is the same. What? Hey, watch any anime? Yeah, it's not the same. Now, there are genres that are kind of the same because that's what a genre is. Like, you're kind of organizing what kind of thing that you're watching. Like, are all action movies the same? They're similar because they're all action movies. Same thing with anime. Like this he's a shonen. Oh, all anime's the same. Well, you just been watching shonen, haven't you? You've been watching like Dragon Ball Z and My Hero Academia and stuff like that, haven't you? No, not all anime is the same. Animes can be very different in range. I've seen quite a few different styles. You have like the horror anime, where it's like just regular people trying to take on like supernatural things. You got isekai, which is really big right now, a little bit too big maybe. And then you have like your typical shonen, which is about hype moments and explosions and all that stuff. And then you have like romances, you have quirky comedies, there's a lot of different kind of anime. It is it's just 2D animation from Japan. That's all that means. it's not like a genre in and of itself. It is 2D animation from Japan. Okay, that's all it is. I know there's different genres of anime, but yeah, it's not all the same. It's got to. When I think when people say that, they just kind of just been watching shonen, like hype shonen.
With a silly message, but with stories that define the human experience. You see, all of human history has been perceived and revered through the skills of storytelling. And today, stories that contain the values and morals of what defines good and bad are being thrown around in ways that dramatically alter what the original message of the story was. In 2025, about 73% of the domestic box office came from existing intellectual properties. 8 of the top 10 highest grossing films of the year were sequels, remakes, or franchise installments. Now, whether each of those films was good or bad in isolation is not the point, but more so, as we look at 2025, 2026, 2024, 23, 22, and so on, all the films and shows and properties that generate interest, buzz, discussion, and money are all whispers of whispers of whispers. Every pass and every adaptation loses a little more of the original. And the original is what matters most because it was the rawest form of the message the original creator intended. Throughout most of human history, adaptations were considered to be ways of translating stories to reach new audiences while honoring the source material. But today, modern adaptation means the death of legacy for the original creator and the source material.
I guess it is kind of true because a lot of the things that we have today are this like adaptations or reimaginings or reboots of long respected franchises. And we've seen that pattern around here a lot, especially within the recent decade or so, last decade, where they're just, again, they're too timid to make something new. Many times over, they're too timid to make something new. So they really would rather bet a bunch of money on an existing property than something brand spanking new. It's very unfortunate because we used to have like an era where there are mid-tier movies, mid-budget movies, but not anymore. Now everything has to be a gigantic blockbuster.
Well, with that introduction, let's take a look at some examples, shall we? The Punisher: One Last Kill came out May 12th, 2026. It is a continuation of John Barenthal's Netflix Punisher, which ran from 2017 to 2019. Which itself spun out of the second season of the Netflix Daredevil show in 2016, which was adapting the Punisher comics. So that's a copy of a copy of a copy.
Yeah, and I've read a lot of some Punisher. I've read at least Garth Ennis's comics, which, by the way, they use a lot. So they actually use that iconic moment from the Punisher, Garth Ennis's run, specifically the goodbye. What's it called? Welcome Back, Frank. I think it's called Welcome Back, Frank, where he fights the Nucci's. But it's that rooftop scenario where Punisher has Daredevil tied up with a gun in his hand, and the idea is that the Punisher is about to shoot a criminal, and the only way to stop him is by shooting him instead. And he's like, "What kind of choice is that?" Daredevil's like, "What kind of choice is that?" And Punisher's like, "This is how I see the world. It's the kind of choice I make every day. If I don't kill this guy, then he's going to go off and kill somebody else." So Punisher gives him like that choice of like, either you kill me or I'm going to kill this bad guy. It's like, what is your choice going to be? And eventually, like, in the comic, Daredevil actually pulls the trigger to shoot Frank Castle. But of course, Frank Castle didn't give him any bullets. The gun is empty. But I'm pretty sure they used that in the Daredevil one where Frank Castle makes an appearance. So Garth Ennis is definitely one that they crib off of. They kind of use for inspiration. Absolutely. But I can kind of see this this point here. It's what was it? It's again a copy of a copy of a copy. Right? So we have the source material, and then we have a movie maybe. And then we have a TV series that kind of copies the movie. And so yeah, it's a copy of a copy of a copy.
Of a copy. 4 copies deep, and we haven't even mentioned the 2 Punisher movies that came before any of that. And it's the same exact thing with Daredevil Born Again. It's the Disney revival of the Netflix Daredevil, which adapted the comic, learning from the 2004 Daredevil with what not to do with the Netflix adaptation. Daredevil is 4 levels deep in adaptations, and by now, no one is watching this show, and it is truly terrible. Star Trek Starfleet Academy isn't a continuation of Star Trek so much as it's an adaptation of the idea of Star Trek. It is the brand in name.
And that's where we are. That's a pretty good way to put it. That's where we are. We are so far down the adaptation hole, we'll say hell hole, that we are now making new, like the new iterations of these older franchises are now adapting the ideas of these older franchises. We saw the same thing in Star Trek, Star Wars, where Mahler put it out pretty well, where it's like, stop making movies about Star Wars. Do we really need another movie about Star Wars and the Star Wars movie about Star Wars? Well, that's where we are. We're so, I guess, yeah, to put it in this way, we're so deep in adaptations. We have reached the final circle of hell, and we are making movies based on the idea of the work that they're working on, of the franchise they're working on. So we're not adapting storylines specifically anymore. We're not adapting or trying to march into a new direction with the story. They're making movies about the idea of these things, the idea of Star Trek, the idea of Star Wars, the idea of the Punisher, the idea of a superhero. That's kind of where we are. So yeah, I can see that pattern. Absolutely. It is. I think right now, like we're adapting movies. We're adapting the idea of a franchise rather than a storyline or something like that. I think is the final circle of hell and the circles of adaptation. Because how much worse can you get than I'm just going to adapt the idea of it
only, and what is on screen is anything but.
Let's see, Chad. We got a guest in the back room. Let's see if this could possibly be.
Don't talk to me. I know you're a pervert under there.
Yeah.
And welcome to Stu of the Stew Crew.
Good evening, or morning, actually. I don't know why I said evening.
Yeah, did you just wake up?
Yeah, I woke up a little bit. Well, actually, no, I've been busy all morning. Because when it comes to summer, I put JoJo on the bus to summer camp. It's much later in the morning than her bus to school. So
that makes sense.
Yeah. So I spend the morning like putting her on the bus, getting everyone breakfast, that kind of thing. I do have incentive for Pillarman today, if anyone is interested.
Interesting. What could that be?
All right, so I have a hard cutoff at noon today, meaning I need to like, it doesn't matter if we're in the middle of stream memes or whatever, I gotta go, because at 2 p.m. I've got I got a double date today, so I am taking both of them to. I gave them 2 options. I said we can either do a romantic evening at the drive-in, or we can go shooting at a gun range.
Interesting choice.
Yeah.
The dichotomy of choices.
So yeah, if anyone wants to know details, when we hit Pillarman, I'll give the itinerary of what's happening right now. I'll give a rare status update on this because it is still a ongoing situation. Now, the last thing is my convention schedule is going to be extremely crazy these next 2 months. I cannot promise I'll be on morning nonsense for the next 2 months, like maybe once a week if we're lucky. Yeah. I like that. I like how chat it's like yeah, okay.
To the gun range.
Yeah. Sorry. So, Karnak one.
Let's see. Oh, where is it? Both, and then discharge.
Yeah.
Let's see. Gun range.
Yeah.
Let's see. Here we go, Stu. So this is an interesting video by the Real Fake Wizard, and he's going about adaptation is the death of the human spirit, and I kind of see his argument where we're going down adaptations, and like to me the final hellhole is like they're adapting not the work but the idea of the work. It's like, man, that's rough.
It's super interesting too, because once in a while adaptation is a great exercise in human creativity, like Scooby-Doo. Like at least Scooby-Doo a while ago. You know, I think Mystery Inc. is the last great Scooby-Doo project. Because like that one was made with love for Scooby-Doo. And right now adaptation is like this really cynical, really snarky kind of practice. So like, you know, there's nothing wrong with adaptation until you get it with the, like they said, I was actually listening to you while I was cooking the girls breakfast. But yeah, like he said, the game of telephone only works if everyone is willing to play the same game. And right now, there are people who are playing the telephone game who are not playing honestly. They're not playing with any genuine love in their heart. They're playing it with a bitter agenda and a bitter, I think that's it. Yeah, bitter agenda.
It's like just a hatred for what they're doing. And I could see that in some of the interviews and stuff. Like they just despise what they're doing.
They're embarrassed about it. It's like, oh, you're making TV for nerds. What's wrong with you? And it's like hey,
we said that last time, right, Stu? Where it's like, why aren't they putting people in costume anymore?
Mm-hmm.
Like this anime is not afraid to make characters look iconic at all.
Yeah. And even their live action stuff, like the Tokakatsu's Totsu, the Power Ranger stuff, the Sentai stuff, like all those guys look ridiculous, but they're cool.
But you remember them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they're memorable. Like oh yeah, that's goofy. But yeah, I remember Goldar and Scorpina, and Lord Zed. Yeah, and of course all the Rangers as well. Let's see. But yeah, just the idea. I like the connection here. It's like just they're adapting the idea of it, and that's how far down the adaptation hole they've fallen.
Mm-hmm.
When you get down to adapting the idea of something, I think you might as well just make something new, because that's been my experience every single time. Every single time they do Star Trek or Star Wars, they're adapting the idea of it, and it's like, let's make something new. It's like it's barely even feels like Star Trek or Star Wars. This makes something new. But they can't, because that would be work.
Yeah. And not only that too, like people, like their companies are only going to give them money to make, you know, Star Trek, because like the last few, like when they're like for sure projects are failing, and it's like, how did you fail to make money with Star Wars? Why would I give you $100 million to make your stupid what on earth? Sorry. I got jumped by something weird. Yeah, why would I give you $100 million to make your shitty
movie?
Your shitty fucking movie, when it's
original too.
Yeah, original movie. It's all garbage. You've produced nothing of value. Like it's embarrassing to be associated with you, you know?
Which is exactly why I laughed when it was like Obsession and made like so much money. I think the Backrooms are doing well, and was the one that Markiplier made is doing really well. Like these grassroots projects are just going toe to toe with Hollywood projects. It's pretty interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I think they said that Obsession is competing with Supergirl at the moment, and they've far exceeded the profits of Supergirl, because Obsession was made on like a shoestring budget.
Oh yeah.
Insane. David Musselman says, whatever happened to that chick who made The Acolyte? Oh yeah, Lizzie Headland. I don't know. She kind of just disappeared along with her show. It's like, I mean, in Clownfish TV's review of Supergirl, they mentioned the story Kevin Smith said of how Hollywood wanted him to make a Superman movie where Supes wears a large trench coat. Of course, because they love the trench coat. Like this, they put everyone in trench coats when they can. They have Supergirl in a trench coat because that's cool. Apparently, they have Supergirl in a trench coat. Like, everyone else got to wear a trench coat. Like there's one guy in Hollywood who really likes all the heroes in trench coats for some reason. It says LD, ironically, the CGI in early 2000s live action Scooby-Doo movies look far better than all of Hollywood's current CGI combined, because it was made by fans of the IP. Yeah, they actually cared. Like, how come the pornography of the thing looks way better than the actual canonical version of the thing? It's like, because we care.
Because they made it because they like Scooby-Doo, or at the very least they like Velma. Velma and
That's
Daphne.
definitely the case. Yeah.
At least I want to make that look good. Like,
yeah, at the very least, you would think. But no. The porn industry has people who actually have passion for the projects they're working on, apparently. I mean, you kind of have to. But
passion is part of the formula.
It's you gotta have to. It's part of the formula. It's part of the work. But we have people in the mainstream who just despise what they're working on, and it shows.
Star Trek. And then you've got Rings of Power.
Oh, geez, Rings of Power.
Which is a great example because the people making it told you how they perceive the relationship between themselves and the source material. The showrunner, Patrick McKay, went to The Hollywood Reporter and said their Sauron is complexly evil, like Tony Soprano or Walter White. He said season 1 is Batman Begins, and
no, he's not complexly evil. He's just evil. Let's see. They must have this is the $5 super chat. Thank you very much, David Musselman.
Yes.
Have you seen the Supergirl popcorn bucket? If not, please look it up. It's hilarious. You mean the one where it's Lobo? It's like a toy.
It looks like a fleshlight.
Wait a minute. Is there another popcorn bucket they made? Because the one I know about was Lobo, where it's like you have to take out Lobo or whatever, and there's enough room for maybe like one handful of popcorn in there.
That's funny.
Let's see. Popcorn bucket. What is let's see here. Popcorn bucket. That's not that could be true. Make a popcorn bucket with a trench coat on it.
I mean, you can, I guess. Like
that's what they did. It's like a popcorn bucket with a trench coat on it. Like, what the hell is this? It's like a drink. Actually, it's a drink cup. But I'm not seeing any unusual popcorn buckets here.
There is one. It's pretty kooky. I'm gonna be honest. It's a little odd.
Here's the drink. There's the cup is like a little popcorn, like a little trench coat around it because they just love trench coats so much. And see, make a thought. This is the final trends. Is that if they like trench coats so much, Ninja Turtles is right. Yeah, because like that's what the Ninja Turtles have to. They use the trench coats because they're actually like the one thing big enough to cover them and their shells. So at least with them, it kind of makes sense.
Season 2 is their Dark Knight. His co-showrunner said their arc was inspired by the Satan from Milton's Paradise Lost. Oh, and there's a literal Breaking Bad writer on the staff. So let me add it all up for you. This billion-dollar Tolkien adaptation is Tolkien plus Walter White plus Tony Soprano plus...
There we go. Well, thank you much, Megalodon. Appreciate it.
Yes.
There we go.
Batman plus Milton. It's an adaptation on top of an adaptation. There are 5 Halloween costumes stacked on top of each other, creating some kind of Lovecraftian horror that is supposed to honor Tolkien's work. None of which does, by the way. And that brings us to James Gunn.
It's just they won't send me the picture. Yeah, that's what I found then. So it is that. Okay, the cup with the trench coat around it. It's a cup though. Like, what's weird? Like, why they just love trench coats so much on superheroes for some reason. Look, it works on Frank Castle because he's kind of an anti-hero, but not everyone needs a trench coat.
Supergirl, releasing on June 26th, 2026, which is adapting a comic that was itself openly built on the movie True Grit, with a little John Wick and a little...
Supergirl's by Tom King. That's just a horrendous adaptation of anything. Like, Tom King is just awful.
Logan thrown in. So, True Grit becomes a comic, becomes a movie, all to tell us a story of a belligerently drunk version of Kara Danvers who is going to girl boss her way across the galaxy, baby. And look at the rest of what's on the
Kara Danvers.
horizon. Star Wars again, Marvel again, DC again, Toy Story.
That's what it looked like to me. Like, they look like Marvel slop. That's kind of what like outside the whole part where she's like, I'm Supergirl and I lost my entire home world and I'm drunk now because of that. Outside of that, the Venture shots, the fighting shots, the superhero stuff from the trailer just made it look like generic Marvel slop. Like, okay, it's another Marvel movie, but with a DC character.
6, 7, 8, Toy Story till the end of time, Super Mario Brothers again, Hunger Games again, even though that should have ended. Scream, Scary Movie.
I love how annoyed he is about that one.
This should have ended. Let's get out of here.
Another Minions, another Dune, Jumanji 4, and well, I guess you get the idea. Everything is just a copy of a copy of a copy. Okay, but let's dig a little deeper to that, right? Because if we look to scientific analysis, there have been many people before me who've discussed this idea. Do you know who originally discussed the copy of a copy problem? Plato. Book 10 of the Republic, around 375 BC, he says all art is imitation, and imitation is a copy of a copy, twice removed from the truth. And the danger, he says, is deception. It works when the audience mistakes the imitation for the real thing. Then we find Walter Benjamin, a German philosopher, in 1936, writes an essay about what happens to art once you can mechanically reproduce it. He says when you copy something, even the original is depreciated because it is no longer unique. Well, that's it right there. These copies don't just sit next to the original. Every copy is compounded on top of the original, making it worth less and less and less. Then we find Jean Baudrillard, a French sociologist in 1981, described that eventually the copy doesn't just replace.
And see, please listen to the $5 super chat. See, Comedy says they always just read Paradise Lost, but never Paradise Regained. Yeah. Because that does exist. No one ever talks about Paradise Regained. So there's a second half. Lucifer was a crybaby who wouldn't admit he's wrong. Yeah, it's kind of where we get the other side of it. Like, just Paradise Lost kind of seems to make Lucifer kind of sympathetic, but Paradise Regained a little bit different. Again, it's Lucifer was the bad guy. Like, he's the big crybaby who had a wounded ego. It's usually how it goes.
The original, people start to prefer the copy because it's cleaner and louder and easier to consume. A whole generation grows up on the copy and never once meets the original thing it was copied from. And that is exactly how
I reminds me of the whole thing with Japan and coffee, where I think there was a coffee company that wanted to invade Japan and try to sell their stuff there, and the guys there are like, no, you can't do that. You can do that in a few years, but you can't really do that now. So what you want to do is you want to make a coffee flavored candy. And so the kids now will eat the coffee flavored candy and they'll enjoy it. They'll like it. And then they'll grow up with fond memories of that smell and that taste. And then they'll start buying your coffee. And it worked. So this whole generation of Japanese kids grew up to have fond, wholesome memories of the taste and smell of coffee and started buying coffee. And so it took some time. It took a whole generation, but they were able to sneak their way into Japan.
I define the relationship that Rings of Power has with Tolkien.
Also, it reminds you again of that article we read where, they don't really want the original anymore. They prefer the slop. They prefer the copy. They want they're tired of this gourmet meal that was Cowboy Bebop. They would much rather it be fast food. Like, what is this foie gras and this filet mignon? I want my cheap pink goo melted McDonald's burger. I want my chicken nuggets shaped out of goo. All right, where's that? Where's that stuff? They were literally asking for slop over the well-made meal.
Dozens of people who still watch Rings of Power are watching this show thinking that this is what Tolkien had always intended. And if you think I'm wrong about that, you don't have any grasp on how
it doesn't help that they tell us that this is what Tolkien always intended.
Armies willingly and thoughtlessly drift through these adaptations. They really just float through them. Yes, I'm serious. There are people who...
Because, of course, Tolkien was secretly a pagan, hated God, secretly, and secretly made Frodo and Sam gay, and would be supportive of trans rights or whatever. I've seen that too. Tolkien would totally have loved trans rights.
Yeah, that every time.
Let's see. This on a long enough timeline, everyone is trans. See, Sea Striker, thanks to the $10 super chat. Sea Striker, thank you very, very much. I'll give you one of these. And see. Lucifer in Paradise Lost is a petulant brat throwing a cosmic temper tantrum to get what he wants. I can see why these types relate to him so easily. Exactly. He's an egotistical brat throwing a tantrum because God wouldn't give him enough attention. So of course they all relate to Lucifer. All these wokies and SJW types all relate to Lucifer.
Who truly believe that Galadriel and Sauron had a will they, won't they relationship, and worse. At this point, I could hear a few of you in the comments saying, Wizard, people have always retold stories.
Also, it's like, Wizard, obviously that's retarded. Obviously they wouldn't make that the case, right? There's no way Galadriel and Sauron would have been a maybe, will they, won't they romantic couple. That's dumb. No, they did that. They did that. Galadriel blames Sauron for killing her brother. And so, of course, she finds it way better to commit the ultimate betrayal against her brother and have feelings for Sauron. I mean, she might be an elf, but she's still a woman.
Myths get reinterpreted. Nobody owns the stories. Yeah, sure. Okay, well, we have Greek mythology, right, on one hand, and then we have God of War on another. And I'm not dismissing that, but hold that thought for a minute here. Actually, hang on. I am pausing in between doing the video here because I just had an epiphany. God of War is a living embodiment of this adaptation death. Yep. I can't believe I didn't think
adaptation of a. So I thought I was going to mention the copy of the copy of copy thing from Fight Club because they say that there too. Because yeah, he's his whole world is about going from place to place and never really settling down much. And so he just meets people on flights and everything, like single serving friends, he calls them. And then every day is like a copy of a copy of a copy. That's literally what he says in the movie. David Musselman, thanks for $20 super chat. David Musselman, very generous. David Musselman, thank you very, very much. Let's see here. Give you one of these. Thank you much, David Musselman. If you're going to adapt Supergirl, there are much better sources, like Supergirl from Krypton, Supergirl from 2000s comics, or the DCAU of the 90s, 2000s. There were so many options, but modern audience, which of course we know now means me, like literally me. I'm adapting this for the modern audience. This means I'm adapting this for me.
Yeah.
I'm making this for me. They would say must wouldn't appreciate it, but yeah, they could have adapted literally any other story of Supergirls, rather as opposed to anything by Tom King. What's with all these people liking Tom King? How do you like Tom King? It sucks. Like liking Ta-Nehisi Coates. Like what the hell? Where's the value here?
Give it until right now. Back to the video. In 1932, a Cambridge psychologist named Frederick Bartlett ran an experiment.
Like Ta-Nehisi Coates makes not pseudo, but quasi-intellectual, half-formed quasi-intellectual slop that I guess the art bros kind of cling to, but it's just like stuff that sounds smart, so everyone thinks it's smart, but it's not. Let's see. That says LD. I think it was a joke in the Boo Saga where Boo-Han turned Vegito into coffee flavored Jawbreaker. Maybe I do remember that. It's kind of coffee flavored, but yeah, I remember that was a thing that happened where they sold Japanese kids coffee flavored candy, and so they grew up to buy actual coffee.
He took a strange little folktale named The War of the Ghosts, had a person read it, then had them retell it to the next person, who retold it to the next, down a chain, like our game of telephone from before. And he measured exactly what happened to the story. Every single time the story was retold, he found 3 unique things. The first is assimilation. People changed the unfamiliar details to match their own world views. The second example is called leveling. Each storyteller dropped whatever they decided wasn't important. So the story got shorter and dumber with each iteration. And thirdly is sharpening. These storytellers reordered plot points into a tidier sense the original never had. You see, the storyteller changed the details of the story to flatter the present listener or to flatter themselves. They dropped what they had thought was hard to communicate or too challenging for the audience to hear. They smoothed the story into something smaller than it originally was. And now we're less theoretical on this. This is a lab
It's like Tom King has brief moments of decent writing, but then falls off a cliff in the same book. I mean, yeah, I think everyone has that, but like, yeah, it's the trick is to maintain the good parts and to have the good parts of the writing outshine the bad parts that will inevitably be there. But Tom King is just too full of himself. Tom King is the guy that won like 3 out of 4 or 3 out of 5 Eisner Awards one year and then got depressed because he didn't win all of them. This guy's just used to being handed crap. To limited credit, Tom King is at least an actual comic book writer, unlike Ta-Nehisi Coates, who amounts to stunt casting of comic book writer. I guess that's true, yeah.
experiment that we're discussing. A scientist proved in 1932 that a story told and retold gets fainter and dumber and more like the people telling it, and he gave the rot 3 unique names. So let's take a look at some of this War of the Ghosts experiment that is happening today in real time. There is a new Chronicles of Narnia on the way with Greta Gerwig writing and directing. Producer Amy Pascal described it out loud as, quote,
I can't wait for that. Oh yeah, more people who hate Christianity making a Christian story. Fantastic. I bet that'll be great.
Mm-hmm.
Who's paying for this? Like, what? Don't you know that having people
paying for it? You know who's paying for it. Everyone knows who's paying.
It's people of Jewish origin.
It's the Druish. It's the Druids guides.
It's the Druids. But yeah, just people. I imagine like spending clearly wasting hundreds of millions of dollars making a Narnia movie and having a person who hates Christianity direct it. Could you imagine doing that? It's crazy. Like, don't you know it's going to fail? Don't you know that people who hate Christianity are doing a Christian movie is going to be awful? Don't you know this by now? I mean, we've had 10 years of bomb after bomb after bomb after bomb after bomb after bomb, and they still have not learned this lesson. It's crazy. Like I said before, Stu, like being in the stream, it's like Disney and Hollywood in general made much better movies when they didn't hate Christianity.
Yeah,
they didn't have to embrace it, but as long as they didn't hate it, they made much better movies. But now they despise Christianity and they're just attacking Christianity by going after the movies and getting people who hate Christianity to lead them. Like, why do we need more Narnia movies? We have Narnia movies. Why do we need more of them?
About rock and roll. And the reference point leaking out about this Narnia film is that they are using Pink Floyd and The Doors either in the film.
Pink Floyd?
Or as something to interpret for the music. I don't think that that's at all what author C.S. Lewis had in mind when he wrote this fantasy. But you see, that's the first move. That's assimilation. Gerwig's team is turning a 1940s English fairy tale into a 1960s rock record because that's the music they like. And also, the setting has been moved from the book's Victorian-era London into the 1950s. The world of the story is being adjusted to fit the world of the people retelling it. Then they cast Aslan the Lion. In the book, Aslan is...
Yeah, Aslan is this... I think straight up this... I think he literally is Jesus. I think it's not like an allegory or like a stand-in. I think the actual explanation is that Aslan is literally Jesus in like a lion form.
It's a male lion with a deep voice, the Lion of Judah. C.S. Lewis's living stand-in for Jesus Christ in the Narnia stories. In
I don't think it's a stand. He's literally Jesus.
May 2026, Netflix confirmed that Aslan is being voiced by Meryl Streep.
Of all the people you could have gotten, yeah, I told you this is how I know they hate Christianity. People making this is they hate Christianity. They're just they couldn't even get a guy. They had to get Meryl Streep because that would be the most offensive in this context. To get this, not just a woman, but Meryl Streep. Why? They also went for The Magician's Nephew, the first book. Did they? That's like I think the uncle is like the Magician's Nephew.
Aslan is a very specific thing. He's in this story for a very specific reason: a king, a son, and a sacrifice. And you do not cast against every one of those, by accident. No, you do it to sand the harder Christian edges off the character until he's a warm archetype that won't corner.
They did the same thing Wrinkle in Time. Like they're trying to just blast off the Christianity from stories like Wrinkle in Time, but you need it. You need the Christianity to be in there because it's kind of hollow and shallow without it, because it was built with that intended. It was built with that in mind.
Anybody at a dinner party. See, that's the second move. That's leveling. The piece of the story most likely to start an argument is the piece that must go first. And then that brings us to the third.
Because all the men are like, this sucks because it's good. Oh, this sucks because it took out the Christianity. It's not the same anymore. And the women are going to be like, oh, but you're such a bigot. Why do you care? I say they want this to make it. I feel like they're trying to make this to cause arguments between boyfriends with their girlfriends, because the girlfriends are all going to love it, and the guys are like, this sucks.
Third moving piece, the sharpening of the story, which is the tidiest new meaning they bolt on to cover up all the holes.
At the very least, that's what I'm pretty sure that's what they have in mind. Like all of them are going to love it. They're going to fight with the boyfriends because all the men suck. That's what I'm thinking that they're thinking.
A female Aslan is a new thesis to Narnia. In this case, God is a woman. The old story was small. We improved it. We've brought our own modern sensibilities with us too. Except C.S. Lewis didn't write any of that, nor did he ever intend any of that. And if you actually read into Lewis's works, you'd find that most of his philosophical letters and studies were more impactful than the Narnia fantasies. He would despise what is being done to his legacy today. Yeah, not your grandmother's Narnia is the actual phrase the IMAX boss used to sell this to investors in December of 2025.
Well, it should be. That's the story everyone liked, so it should be.
Well, C.S. Lewis already had a...
It can't be that they're trying to sell this on, what it is. Like, it's going to have this in there. We're going to change a little bit here to make it improved. Like, it can never be what the movie is. It always has to be sold on what the movie isn't. Like Supergirl was sold on, it's not about a guy. It's not about her falling in love. It's not about romance. Okay.
Why not? Yeah.
First of all, why not? And second of all, okay, well then what is it about? They're stuck in this loop of like the Sun trying to sell us movies on what the movie is not.
Name for this kind of attitude. He called it chronological snobbery, a reflex that newer automatically means wiser. And then he spent his life writing against that ideal. And so the canoes have become hunting or boats or whatever it was in that study. And the Lion of Judah is now what Hollywood keeps calling a goat. Now, maybe you're not a Narnia fan. That's fine. But regardless of where you are in your life, you've heard this phrase before, haven't you? Turn the other cheek. Yeah, you know this phrase. You think you know what it means, too. Today, it means being a doormat, taking the hit from those who challenge you, and be submissive. Walk it off. Being the bigger man means being submissive to those who would do you wrong. Isn't that what Jesus would want? Isn't that right?
No. That's the little twist on it. Being submissive to those who would do you wrong? No. Letting slights go, maybe. Yeah, that's kind of it. That's kind of like Jesus would turn the other cheek, but then he would topple the tables in the temple. There's a difference, all right? It's a big difference. He's like, you're not supposed to submit to those who would do you wrong. You're supposed to judge what is worthy of rising up against and what isn't. Like what is worthy of righteous fervor and what is not. And someone is smacking you in the face is like, that's not really that big of a deal to fight back against. But what is a big deal is the desecration of your religion. That's give unto Caesar what is Caesar's, right? That's kind of it. Like the desecration of your religion, that's a big deal. That is a thing you rise up against. Having someone like smack you in the face for no reason, whatever. Like you can't rise to every single provocation, right? That's the essence of masculinity, by the way. Is you should be nice until it's time to not be nice anymore. That's kind of what it is. So you learn to let things go. You can't rise to everything because that's a sign of immaturity. You have to pick the right things to righteously rise up against. And that's what that lesson actually means. But the online interpretation of this is that, you should just let everything go. You just be okay with everything being ruined and destroyed and toppled, because that's what Jesus would have wanted. Just be vaguely nice, because that's the teaching of Jesus, being vaguely nice to each other for no reason.
Right? He's the one who said to turn the other cheek, didn't he?
And there it is. Like he said unto them, but now if you have a purse, take it, and also a bag. And if you don't have a sword, sell your cloak and buy one. Jesus, pro Second Amendment. Pro Second Amendment. In fact, if he's so pro Second Amendment, he's like, if you don't actually have a weapon, you have to go sell your stuff until you can afford one. So based.
Well, yes, except that is the opposite of what it meant. And it's not at all what Christ was trying to say. In historical context, being struck in public was a sign of disrespect. To slap someone with a backhand was to insult someone as being beneath you in the eyes of the public.
Oddly enough, that same rules go for Klingons in Star Trek. He's like, I remember like Worf teaching Cisco how to act like a Klingon. It's like, and then Klingon Cisco tries to get into character and he smacks Worf with the back of his hand. And Worf's like, "Very good, Commander. Now, was it your intention to fight me to the death?" He's like, "No, not at all." "Well, then you don't hit me with the back of your hand, because that means I'm going to fight you to the death." That was pretty funny, like back and forth, because Worf is intimidated by Cisco, because that's how badass Cisco is. Cisco is the guy that punches out gods and takes on super soldiers for breakfast.
It was an insult, and it could be done legally by a master to someone of lesser class or worse. So when Jesus Christ explained that you should turn the other cheek, he wasn't saying to be submissive to the one striking you. He was saying to turn your head, which forces your oppressor to be forced to either hit you with an open palmed hand, which signifies that you are equals, or he'll have to stop hitting you altogether. Turning the other cheek is a sign of peaceful defiance. And through time and upholding traditions, the phrase has been weaponized against the very people it was meant to empower. Turn the other cheek. Don't let them get to you. Be submissive. Actually, this is a very serious.
Bow down. To stop worrying about what we're doing. Why does it matter if we destroy your franchises and the things you care about? Why does that matter? That's what they use it as. Why does that matter? Why do you care? That sort of thing. When it really it's just like, don't be provoked by everything. Learn to rise up against the right things. And I think Jordan Peterson says that too. Like, learn to talk. First of all, he's like, talk to the right people. If people aren't listening, don't bother talking to them. But you ultimately have to learn to rise up righteously against the right things. Let's see. Symbiote, thanks for $20 super chat. Thank you much. Symbiote, very generous. Very generous, Symbiote. Where is it? Here it is. Holy shit. Thank you much. Symbiote says, did everyone forget the Jesus who whipped the money changers in the temple? And yeah, he whipped them, literally, and told his disciples to get swords, even at the expense of their cloaks. Yeah, again, Jesus was so Second Amendment. It's like, if you don't have a weapon, that you should get one. Go forth to thy local gun store and purchase a Glock. I shall bless them. It should be only thy holy Glocks. That's pretty badass. I forgot that part, actually. But that's pretty awesome. Jesus was so based.
Jesus was awesome, yeah. Because he believed in everything. He was like just one of those people that was like both red-pilled and optimistic, you know?
Yeah, the ultimate hero. Absolutely ultimate. No wonder the hero's journey was based on the story of Jesus. Like, that was a huge inspiration, a foundational story for the hero's journey by Joseph Campbell, who was religious.
Yes, of course.
You want your symbiote? Appreciate it. Let's see here.
Serious issue with lots of biblical stories too. With every adaptation of the Nativity, little by little, more is embellished and softened until people can't really tell you what the original was. The Easter story, the parables, all of it, and countless stories, not even just the Jesus Christ story. The impact of why all of the biblical stories mattered is being eroded away. So it is not just Star Wars. It is not just Daredevil. It's everything. Yeah, this has been happening for all of history. It's not just Superman getting the James Gunn treatment. It's everything, everywhere, all the time. Every copy bends the story a little more toward the people doing the copying and a little further from whatever was true until the meaning is a clear reversal of where it started. And audiences just nod along blindly. They have no idea. And even the adaptations we might classify as good have this problem too. Even the ones that try their best leave out details or change things. In the past, film adaptations made adjustments because the technology of the age wasn't suitable to tell the stories to their fullest extent. But today, adjustments are made for the sake of simplicity in demonstration for casual audiences. Project Hail Mary came out in March of 2026. It is an adaptation of Andy Weir's novel. And to make the movie, they cut out a lot. They dropped most of the hard science the book was built on. They took the character Eva Stratt, who in the book is a borderline sociopath, and they softened her into someone sympathetic who does karaoke. Whereas
Well, they can't have a woman be that evil. It's just insane. It says Jesus was also the one who wasn't afraid to call out those in power and throwing some insults. Yeah, he called it the Pharisees, because the Pharisees, the Pharisees were so evil that I just know them as the guys who use religion as a shield.
Mm-hmm.
It is they use religion so that they would not be criticized. That sounds familiar, Stu.
Imagine
Who else does that? Oh, how dare you criticize my movie, you bigot? You know what? You just hate women. Those are Pharisees. Or I have a degree. Actually, I have a degree in biology, and I say that you're wrong. That men and women are not actually different at all. There is no scientific evidence to signify that men and women have any biological differences. And that's true because I have a biology degree and you don't, so you can't question me. It's
incredible, huh?
So interesting, so familiar.
She is vicious in the book. The whole procedure of Ryan Gosling's character losing his memory in the book is intentional as part of his kidnapping and placement on the astronaut crew. In the movie, it's played off as if it's a side effect of the knockout drug they used to put him in a sleep coma. But yes, the film is good, and it's even better if you haven't read the book where you find the full context. So there's an uncomfortable truth here. Sometimes Bartlett's leveling is not the end of the world when the soul of the story is tightly built and the adaptation is crafted by people who are attempting to honor the source material. Peter Jackson's position on the original Lord of the Rings film trilogy fits this ideal perfectly. Those films were made to honor Tolkien's work. However, I can't quite say Jackson or I feel the same way about what he's about to do next. What with the upcoming spin-off films that tie into the Jackson film universe. You either die a hero or you live long enough to see yourself become a villain. So how are heroes turned into villains? How are parables meant to empower defiance hijacked into phrases of submission? It's the same way that the story changes in a game of telephone with kids. There are sentences kids just don't understand being said, or maybe they misheard. They caught some of it, most of it even, and filled in the gaps the best that they could. But in our creative world, there are more than just people mishearing what is being said, and they are actively changing the substance of the message in the middle of the line of the game and then passing it along, meeting their own values, ideals, and sensibilities. The people running these studios are just playing telephone.
And by the way, Chad, we're just $24 away from Pillarman for the day. Oh, Fane Initiate, thanks for the 5, says that over there on Rumble Rant says that's like what the British tell their victims of migrant crimes. Don't turn to anger or whatever. Yeah, what was it? The Prime Minister of Canada, Trudeau, was like, if we kill our enemies, they win.
Yeah, about that. Yeah, who, like, how did you come to that conclusion? I need to know.
If we kill our enemies and fight our enemies, they win somehow. I don't know how that works. I mean, they can't really celebrate their victory if they're dead. Let's see, or whatever cuck behavior they want from the victims. Yeah, it's that we are better than they, so we should not fight back. Be submissive. The real fake wizard is right. Like, they want you to be submissive to them, not defy them. Like, it's like, if you're a real person of stature and moral standing, that you will be submissive to the barbarian.
Yeah.
You will not fight back against the barbarian. You'll be submissive to the barbarian, which makes no sense at all. Like, no one should be required to be submissive to those who want you dead. This is not how it should work. And see, that's why I like Uwe Boll making that movie. Good. Need more of those.
Yeah, Uwe Boll may have like actually started, like really started something. Like the ball's been rolling for a while, but there are just certain people who did not want to play the game, you know, because like it's career suicide. But when Uwe Boll made
Uwe Boll.
and then yeah, like Uwe Boll doesn't give a fuck, which is huge.
Yeah, nothing to lose.
He's got nothing to lose to begin with. He's got a style and a name that matters. And not only that, Elon Musk just absolutely rewarded him with so much free publicity that now his
going
movie,
international, I think.
Mm-hmm. It's number one in America right now.
And they're working on movie 2. I think Uwe Boll put out a video saying, "Hey, we're going to do movie 2 now if you keep watching it." And Uwe Boll is a particularly interesting fellow. People kind of say, "Oh, he's a jerk because he." Did you see that he fought his critics? Literally,
he fought his critics. Oh
yeah,
my God.
There was a bunch of critics who were dogging on his movies, and so he challenged all of them to a boxing match, and he annihilated them because Uwe Boll happens to also be a professional boxer. And people were like, "Oh, what a jerk!" I was like, you didn't have to say yes. First of all, you didn't have to say yes, and that was awesome. I like that he did that. It's pretty funny. You didn't have to say yes. You could have said no to him. All right, it's your fault that you got your face bashed.
Yeah, it's like, awesome. Like, first of all, like, even if you know nothing about Uwe Boll, I don't think I would get into a fist fight with a man named Uwe Boll.
Like, I would. I'd probably say yes. I mean, but then again, I have a black belt in kickboxing.
Well, I mean, like, okay, so like if it was understood that it was like a fun competition thing and it was like a healthy, you know, like, hey, we're gonna fight it out because you dislike my movie and like this is gonna be fun. I'm like, fuck yeah, buddy. Like,
hell yeah.
Like I'll join that, but like I'm not gonna make it personal, you know.
Yeah, it's really funny because all the critics went there like this is a game.
Mm-hmm.
It's not going to be serious. And then Uwe Boll came to play.
Dude, Uwe Boll played for keeps. He came swinging. It was serious to him. And
it really was. So since Carl the Token Nerd has been so generous today, I think we will do that. Watch Uwe Boll boxing his critics. Because it's funny. Let's see. All right. I found a short video. Let's see if this is good enough. Let's see if this is good enough. But they wish Carl the Tolkien Nerd for the 50-pound super chat, which is a lot. That's a lot of money still.
That is not nothing. That is a lot of change.
That is a lot of money. So thank you much, Carl the Tolkien Nerd. Very much appreciated. Where's the proper thing here? Here it is. Here it is. Here it is. A world. Oh, thank you very much, Carl Tucker Nerd says, for everything you have done, and because it's good to hear someone else Flint's of power. And where the hell the Narnia is going to be, man. I like the Lord of the Rings movies, live action movies when they came out, but Narnia was the one that I liked the most. Like that one, that I grew up with Narnia, the animated version of the Lion, Witch, and the Wardrobe. I grew up with that. I love Narnia as from that movie. And so I like that was I had a lot of experience watching that and diving into Narnia years before Lord of the Rings. So Narnia is more personal, and man, it's going to be awful. This is going to be really, really bad. Thank you much, Carl Tucker Nerd. Very much appreciated. Very much appreciated.
That's closer to $75 than it is $50.
That's pretty crazy. That is pretty crazy. Thank you very much. And yeah, we have far surpassed the Pillarman mark for the day. Let's see here. Make sure we got everything tallied up accurately. Thank you very much. All right. So we got a good head start for tomorrow, Stu.
Yep.
Let's see. But yeah, I have this video here. I think it's a very short video. I wonder if it's enough, but it is about Uwe Boll but fighting his critics. It happened in 2006, turns out. So until now, September 23rd, 2006, German filmmaker Uwe Boll challenged critics to a boxing match. Let's check it out. See how they do. Also, Carl the Tolkien Nerd has joined my list of producers. Thank you very, very much. Thank you very, very much for your generosity.
So I've wrote like, okay, if you come up here and you fight me, then I will kick the shit out of you.
This is 20 years ago. Man, this is Uwe Boll at 41. He's just duking it out with like these 20-year-old guys at 41.
And actually, we have 5 contenders. So one guy was in Spain already, and then today I have 4 more fights. So they have a good advantage here. Yeah, 4 against 1.
Yeah, I fight them good. Yeah,
I think if you're into film media, Uwe Boll does tend to occupy a special place in your heart. So he's like the movie version of Alex Jones. He's like, you don't know if you like him or hate him. Sometimes you do, sometimes you despise him. But he is a character. He is a character. But I did like him challenge his critics to a literal boxing match. That's pretty awesome. That's pretty good. And I like that he came to play.
All the critics, all the geeks are wannabe filmmakers, and as soon as they do something,
he is not playing nice. Like these nerds, these assholes
on their own, it's
just want to be filmmakers. Yeah, he's just no mercy. If you've seen his movies, you know what kind of guy that he is. He's a guy with no mercy. If you've seen Citizen Vigilante, you know he's not a guy that really has has mercy as part of his character. He's not evil. I don't think he's evil or anything. He's just like when he wants to go on the attack, he goes on the attack.
He's one of the most prolific filmmakers out there. Yes, he's shit, but he's prolific.
Have you done any boxing before?
Never before, never been in a ring.
I should have done some training then. I think some of them were like, you said you would train me. Like, why didn't you said yes to a boxing match? Why is it his job to train you?
Not come to kick ass. I came here for the free trip to Vancouver.
What do you think about Dr. Boll's work?
Most of his movies.
Doctor? I didn't know was he a doctor? I didn't know that. Is he a doctor for like filmology? I didn't know that. That's pretty interesting. No one ever calls him Dr. Boll.
We suck.
The Raging Bull! The Deutschland Destroyer!
That's a good nickname. The Raging Bull. That's a good name. Mm-hmm. Let's see. There was this YouTuber, I Hate Everything, released a video calling Citizen Vigilante an evil movie. FYI, I Hate Everything is a Brit who lives in a very rich area, so he's safe from migrant violence. Well, yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense.
The Teutonic Terror! Dr. Uwe Boll!
Can we not call him Dr. Boll? Because that makes him sound too professional, and I really take offense.
But isn't he a doctor? Like, is he like? I don't think they're allowed to call you a doctor unless you are one, right? So, like, isn't he an actual doctor then?
To that.
Is he like a doctor like Dr. Venture is a doctor? Like, not really. Or Dr. Orpheus is a doctor? Like, not really.
No, I haven't seen any of his movies, but I heard that they're pretty, they're not good.
Wait a minute, then why is he here? Then why is he a critic? He's just been criticizing his movies by saying they're terrible, but he hasn't seen any? That doesn't make any sense. But okay. All right.
That they're pretty, they're not good.
Oh, wait. I Hate Everything hates this movie?
I Hate Everything says it's evil.
Oh, fuck him. No, that guy used to be cool. I remember him. He was, do you remember when, oh God, what's his name? Grade A, Under A used to be like a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. This, I Hate Everything was a guy that operated in that same era. And he's just not anything now, you know.
Yeah, I haven't seen his stuff in a long time. I didn't really watch him very much, but like technically speaking, he's on brand here because he does hate it, and he is called "I Hate Everything."
Yeah, but he's calling it an evil movie, and if he's like fighting against the propaganda bullshit, then like his opinion isn't worth anything because he doesn't. If he lives in a rich area and if he doesn't know anything about this migrant situation, then his opinion literally doesn't matter.
How come this is an easily called an evil movie? But what about the grooming gangs? You can call those evil? That's what this movie's about.
Well,
this movie has the bravery to say that stuff that everyone's trying to make you not talk about is evil. It's evil. This is actually happening. It's tackling like a real world issue pretty accurately.
Yeah, well, we're just not allowed to talk about it. So, that's evil. Evidently,
yeah, because you're not supposed to complain about it. Because if you do, you get charged and put in jail.
Characters are poorly written. He has no
sound effects. Boom.
Eye for detail. Like I said, I haven't really seen.
Oh, he's annihilating these critics.
A full movie, but I don't really think that I need to have even seen a full movie to judge it.
The only ones that really
Uwe Boll's not even wearing any headgear. He's just going out there with boxing gloves. That's
the only ones that really sucked were House of the Dead, Blood Rain, and
all the stuff that he adapted. Right, I like the video game movies, not that great, but his own stuff is a little more interesting.
Alone in the Dark.
Well, his movies are bad. They're terrible. They're awful. They're hypnotically bad. But they're so bad on such a gigantic, huge operatic scale.
Dude, that guy's fucking huge. Look at how wide he is from like the back. You could just tell.
Well, there's a reason why he's called the Raging Bull.
And no kidding.
You just teach your critics a lesson. Hold on. He's like, did you teach your critics a lesson?
The critics a lesson?
Absolutely. What a chat. Absolutely. like Uwe Boll is like, he fought, by the way, Uwe Boll fought like 4 guys in a row. And he's like, yeah, I'm feeling good. Tell him lesson. Meanwhile, his critics are like,
I mean, is it a fair fight to know that like your critics are nothing but a bunch of useless soy boys? Like,
and he's like a professional? Well, technically, no. But again, they agreed to it. Like, he didn't force him to be there. Like one guy's like, oh yeah, I just want to go for the free trip to Vancouver. I would have gone to fight. I want to fight Uwe Boll. That sounds fun. Come on, let's go. That sounds like sparring, like boxing, is fun. Like, it's a lot of fun. I tell you what. There we go. There we go. There's the Uwe Boll fighting his critics. Legendary, absolutely legendary event. These guys know how to throw a punch. I don't think so. These are like film critics who are kind of soy boy types. I'm not even sure they know how to throw a punch or anything of that.
Probably not.
Like at all. Let's see. He does have a funny downfall after this. He's a very interesting career. Let's see. Okay. There's a new a Mother's Basement video called American Anime. It should be pretty interesting to cover on Weeb Day. All right, chat. All right. Let's see. Oh, did you see the video I started the stream off with?
Which one?
It's like a little short video about it's an AI video.
No, I missed it. I think I was driving during that time.
Or is I think you might like it. I think it's worth re-showing. It was really, really funny. All right, hold on. Almost there.
You know what's funny? I bet Anthony will probably rage bait Uwe Boll by reviewing it, but then figure out a way to back out of the fight.
That'd be so funny if he doesn't. He doesn't back out. It was a fight. That'd be so funny.
It would be.
Because Uwe Boll's like 60 something now, so it'll be interesting. Anyway, chat. Here you go, Stu. Check this out. I think people who weren't here yet.
Oh my gosh, here comes Chad. He's so hot.
Hey, fatty, lose some weight.
It's not over yet.
I wish.
Oh, she got that out of her shirt without pockets. She just reached into a pocketless shirt and took it out.
Chad thinks I'm sexy.
Hey, sexy.
Oh, look, it works, Stu. It worked.
That's funny. She's manifesting.
You still got to lose that weight.
Hey, sexy. You still got to lose that weight. But anyway, chat. Anyway, I think we're going to go ahead and close the stream for today. Thank you much, everyone, for joining me. We're going to go to stream memes, and we're going to transition over to stream memes with, of course, Pillabun. So here we go, chat. Lower your volume or raise your volume, whatever you prefer. And Pillabun. And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Oh, yes, best chat. The second gods of fitness now. The good young gods of fitness have blessed us this wonderful day. But those 3 Chad men who can all, I guarantee you, can all get alone. Let's see. I am straight white man.
Amazing.
Let's see. All right. I guess today is Sailor Moon's birthday. Okay, I didn't know that.
Cool.
Interesting. It's a Megalathon, by the way. Thanks for the $10 super chat. Thank you very, very much, Megalathon. Where is it? Ah. Thank you very much, Megalathon. Says, wait, Stu, real quick, what did you call the short girl wear undershirt? I need it for 2 government girlfriends. Thinly veiled excuses in sure chat.
What?
What do you call a short girl who wears an undershirt? Or the short girl?
Is this a setup to a punchline? I'm just really confused on. Like, what's happening?
Stu, what do you call it? It's for 2 government girlfriends. The story that Megalathon is writing.
What do you call the short girl that? What did you call the short girl that wears the undershirt?
And which one? Let's see.
I'm not even certain I know what we're saying. Like, what are we referring to? Can I get a hand chat? I'm a little confused.
Let's see. No, you said something.
I mean, I believe you.
Apparently.
I'm a male feminist. I've always championed women. No, you haven't. You haven't. This shit came out and you're fucking scared. You did something.
I love that.
You did something.
You did something. Like,
yes, so you said something.
I must have. I just don't remember what we're talking about. Like,
let's see. Was it rugged? I'm not the beard on the outside that counts. It's the beard on the little bro. It ain't the beard on the outside that counts. It's the beard on the inside. Hoo-wah! Let's see.
Yeah, rewrite Megalathon. Rewrite your message without the super chat, and I'll try to figure out what the fuck we're talking about.
Let's see. Well, keep an eye out. PlayStation can produce mind-boggling effects. I mean, it's pretty good for the time.
Mm-hmm.
Since hair isn't preserved in fossils, we can't rule out the possibility that dinosaurs look like this. I mean, I guess we technically, can't rule it out, but I doubt it. I doubt it. Dummy head for trading dentists in 1930s. That looks hardcore. No, it's a xenomorph in medieval armor. I'm here for it. That looks pretty hardcore. I want everyone to know that the calligraphy in Uncle Iroh's tea shop says, "I'd rather go without eating for 3 days than without tea for 1 day." Dude was committed. This is based. Let's see. Why is she ready to leap ribbit caked up? Why in Clarnation did you make ribbit so caked up? Why would you have it any other way? Let's see. A gummy goo. Gummy goo, and then Jax is like Ribbit, Ragatha, and Ribbit. Oh, it's Ribbit, but like there's one picture where Ragatha is in there, but he crossed her out. Let's see. I can fix him. He got 10 other girls trying to fix him. Y'all look like a construction crew.
That's funny.
No, Kaffo's not a girl though. He's a dude.
I think he's part of the crew, part of the ship, part of
So.
the crew, kind of thing.
Part of the ship, part of the crew. A part of the crew, part of the ship. Let's see. Bring the problem tournament. Being the problem, I guess, is like a default for a reward.
Mm-hmm. Basically, like Jax caused all his own problems. Like there is no one to blame for Jax's bullshit but himself.
I mean, he is trans. That makes sense.
And everybody knows it.
Let's see. And there's Pomni in the beach episode. Interesting. And there's Ragatha with, I think, a new hairstyle. Let's see. And 9 months in my womb and making me suffer and looks like a stupid dad. So this confirms that not Ragatha. Jax is a man. Right? Jax is a man.
Well, obviously.
I think these are both canonical, right? These both happen in the same timeline and universe.
Isn't that wait? Is that Bonnie from FNAF?
I think so.
That's actually quite funny.
Oh, this is harsh. This is really harsh. I say honestly, who did it better? Like the play or the live action? Pretty sure the play got it more accurate.
For sure, because it was at least made by the creators.
Yeah. You give me metal benders. You give metal benders a bad name. Sure, baby, I know it. Check this out. Wait, physical? You actually own them? No streaming needed? Yep, mine forever. Non-disappearing. And non-updating. I always remember that horror story of like, I forgot what game it was, but everyone bought this game where it had the girl with cleavage in it. Mm-hmm. And they bought it, installed it, and day one they patched out the cleavage.
Oh, it was like Stellar Blade or something.
Was that it?
It wasn't Stellar Blade, but it was like a Stellar Blade like adjacent experience or something. They sold the game on, don't worry, we're not getting rid of our titties, and then like day one they got rid of the titties.
Yeah, with a patch. Like they tricked you into buying it for that reason, and then they patched it up for some reason. I don't know why you would go through that effort, but they did. But this is pretty cool. Like it's old Buzz Lightyear when he's a Saiyan now.
Didn't you watch the movie with me?
I think we did, yeah. I just didn't notice the color scheme. I didn't notice the color scheme made him Buzz Lightyear. I mean, that's pretty awesome. I didn't know that. That's pretty cool.
That's funny.
It's a Pokemon headcanon that once Absol are studied and people realize they prevent disasters instead of causing them. Particularly dangerous workplaces get themselves a workplace Absol. And it's also decreased accidents. And construction sites and fishing ships and factories will have one that pretty much just lays about until it just gets up. Let's see. Yeah, it's enough. The first paragraph hit home. There you go. Was he having like a little Hatsune Miku thing? Why is he angry? Because took his chair? Let's see. Priority seating signs in Japan trains include injured arm. Wait a minute. What is this?
Is that a self-harm joke?
Is he holding a child? Pregnant? This guy looks like a bone. Has like a boner, and then like someone pooping out a kid. So you get priority if you're pooping out a kid at your butt, or you have a giant boner. That's interesting. Like, so that is pretty base though. If you have a boner, you get priority seating on a Japanese train. Is this true, Stu?
Yeah, no, it's completely true. Yeah, it's definitely like listen, when I was in Japan, they would look at me and they go, "Oh, sumimasen," and then get up for me. You know,
like get up off the chair or get up.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Yeah, you got it. Yeah.
Yeah, they would immediately get up for me. They might have been sitting, but they're giving a standing ovation. Let's see. The game came a little book. I remember those. I remember like getting those cool little books where they give you lore and a rundown of the character, and then they just took those away and they gave like a little piece of paper that had like some weird legalese on it or something like that, and that's about it. Where's the little book? Where's my game? Now it's like, where's my game? Because they said they're not going to give discs out for Grand Theft Auto 6.
Mm-hmm.
It's a... What is this? This is Medicare. Medicare's commenting on this. So Kelper L2 says the estimated cost to build Adaptation 6 has risen about $200 since the $760 estimated he shared in March. According to him, the PS6 bill of materials is now nearing $1,000. This covers only hardware and manufacturing costs, including shipping. I think didn't it come out that the RAM is not actually that rare, and like they're purposely hiking the prices and using that excuse as to why.
Yeah, that's a pretty common thing for companies to like. We saw this during COVID. A lot of like food companies were just testing how far they could push the envelope before like people just stopped buying. You know.
Yeah, and now hopefully like now that it's come out, people are like, no, I'm not going to buy. We're not going to deal with this heightened RAM issue. Let's see, 8D chess. If gamers are bankrupt from buying the game system, they'll be too poor to notice there has no games.
Yeah, exactly.
Eating my electric bill, literally. When you lied on your resume and still got the job, it's like it's a little fat cat. His home seems a little too cool, doesn't it? No, yeah, this home seems a little too cool, doesn't it? Yeah, because like they banned AC during the heat wave because of climate change.
Mm-hmm.
And also, France is blaming us for their heat wave because we use so much AC that it's causing heat to rise over there.
You don't say. Okay, I mean, like
that's how that works.
Okay, cool. I'm gonna turn up my AC a bit more.
Yeah, it does. I said that I did the same. No, suffer, France, suffer. So I've been in control since the 50s. I've been in control since the 50s, huh?
You think God's in control here?
I've been in control since the 50s. I remember back in the remember when Doomcock had like those interviews with Disney employees, and in his videos he would like use the Mickey Mouse silhouette. I was like, oh, his connection is Mickey Mouse. It's Minnie Mouse took over Disney and has been abusing him this whole time, and Mickey Mouse has finally found a guy he can confess to.
Right.
That's a pretty good story. It's a Russian tourist who tried to rape a cow, is gored by the animal, and has to be rescued by stunned Thai police. That sure is a headline.
Well, do unto others, I guess.
Womp womp. Let's see. And there's Pomni and Jax with the alternate costumes. I flip the costumes. There's Ribbit. And there's Pomni and Jax on a bicycle built for 1, but they made it built for 2. And there's a nice wholesome hug between Pomni and Ragatha. Very wholesome.
God damn, they wow, they did not hold back on that drawing. That was wild. Like I'm not even like, it's not even like what it's supposed to be doing. I'm just impressed.
It's extra thick.
Really?
Extra thick.
That's really funny.
It's all you're thirsting for. Gummy Goo's goo. Get Gator Goo. And I knew Pomni would like Gator Goo. Gummy Goo's Gator Goo. This line is taking too long. I want my Happy Meal with nuggets. Wait a minute. I am the admin. Are you going to take my order, miss? Just kills him right in front of him. Because he wants to get he can't just like pop him somewhere else. He has to like kill him. And not even just like I pop you out of existence. It's like you explode and all your guts like plop over Pomni's face.
Jeez, crazy.
Hurt nothing. I'm hurt enough. Packages falling on my head. Tea parties, dancing lessons. Hurt nothing. Oh yeah, this is because she's like a Raggedy Ann.
Yeah.
It's a tiny rabbit is obsessed with giant girlfriend who's 4 times his size. Well, I mean, that used to be his black queen, so I guess that makes sense. Let's see. Oh yeah, here's Conan. Is it of all the people who could take charge of Conan? I'm pretty sure that Genndy Tartakovsky is a good choice, because if anyone else had done it, it would be like Conan the Barbarian is secretly into knitting or petting kittens or something like that. Also, he would of course not be able to understand sarcasm because he's too masculine to understand sarcasm, and not be too intimidating. Let's see here. There we go. Hey, this guy's hilarious. And then the bad guy here. We will crush the rebellion with one swift strike. So one swift stroke. Glory to the Empire. That'd be cool if Garon is part of their council. Darth Vader, I like this guy. I like this guy's style. The Fate Stay Night Hollow Atraxia reprint edition was 7 years ago on the June 28th. It was the last R18 product Type Moon has released. They sure did. Rello, baby. Zoinks, no, Scooby-Doo, your mom eats cat poop. Let's see. Traps Illustrated. Yeah, that's the famous thing where you found Traps Illustrated. And Fred is really into Traps Illustrated. For Traps and Daphne. Danger Traps and Trail. And then, no, Fred, you love traps. I see you're a man of culture as well. I bet it's filled with wonderful pictures. Oh, it's just a bunch of traps. I love traps. Yeah, there it is. So that's what is this cup? Yeah, man, I can get a Super Gold cup with extra foreskin. Hell yeah. Give me a cup with extra foreskin. Rock and roll. Aslan the Lion. Believe in Santa. If you're a Christian, you must be a complete pacifist, actually. Like, yeah, since when? Ask the Archangel Michael or something. It's the Canada boy. Hey guy, like Bazinga or whatever. You Americans, you're so gosh darn ignorant and self-centered. Tell me who your prime minister is. Why? You left yourself open, Dad. Pop. Hey, you're finally awake. You have been kicked in testicles. That's why you're asleep, because you've been kicked so hard in the balls that you just passed out. All right, chat. We're going to close out the stream for today. Thank you much, everyone, for joining me. Thank you much, Best Chat, for always being the best chat. Thank you much, Stu, for joining me today. So again, of course, next time.
On a cold winter morning, in the time before the light, in flames of death's eternal reign, we ride towards the fight. When the darkness has fallen